community.
I don't think that it was entirely because of that. Yeah, I don't think it was entirely because of that at all. Like, to me, like Blizzard, it made sense that they wouldn't want to do Classic WoW, but I just think that at Closed Fridge, stop. Just stop, guys. Anyway, so yeah, it makes sense that they wouldn't want to do Classic WoW in a lot of ways, and I could see their logic for it. It's just that at the end of the day, I think that a lot more people like Classic WoW than didn't. And that's really what it comes down to. And private server, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Closed Fridge, can we time out the Closed Fridgers? Yeah, let's time that out. It's annoying. Okay, anyway, so, I don't know, man. Like, I see what Blizzard was trying to get at with Classic WoW and like what their goal was with it, but at the same time, I'm not really, I'm not convinced they made the right decision until they introduced Classic, right? Even though it made sense for them not to want to do it, I don't think that it was entirely because of pride. I think that they just didn't want to invest the time into something and then be stuck holding on to something and spending money on it, like kind of keeping it alive if it wasn't going to make them money.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
BlizzCon is the annual convention held by Blizzard.
Those were the
It's
days,
a massive,
man.
exciting event that showcases and promotes
were
all
the
their
days.
major franchises. Celebrities make appearances, famous bands close out the show. It's just epic.
Who's this guy? This is a dwarf. And you know what? I prefer a little person. Well, okay.
Not many developers have an entire convention
Okay.
at their disposal. And it's just
That's
Blizzard's
good, dude.
way of showcasing their power, getting
Yep.
fans hyped to consume product. But in 2018,
Which is good.
BlizzCon became the opposite of that. Hear ye, fans of Diablo. Behold, the new experience you've been waiting for. Diablo for Immortal.
So we knew we want to use mobile devices as the platform for a new Diablo game. Because nothing brings a family together like slaying demons.
You want to explain yourself? What?
To this day, I still cannot believe that they did this.
Dude, I still haven't watched that whole scene.
I
because
can't.
I can't, like, I literally can't watch it.
I can't watch it. I'd rather watch Scott's Tots on repeat for fucking 100 days than watch the announcement of Diablo Immortal. Like, I don't want to fucking see it, man. It's just, it's so sad. And it's like they shouldn't, like, it was just so fucking bad. Fuck.
What are you doing?
People were confused, and through a series of hilarious questions in the faces of the developers, the situation started to get out of hand.
So how long has Diablo Immortal been in development, and how is it affecting other Diablo projects?
Yeah, good question.
Well, you may or may not have heard.
I can't imagine the embarrassment of having a crowd of people at your own convention turn against you. But
I feel like I felt bad for the guys. I really did, because like they weren't really, I mean, they weren't going out of their way. They weren't doing anything bad. I mean, I think that probably like they don't even make the decisions on like anything like that. So it just doesn't make any sense to hate on them. But at the same time, it's kind of it is kind of sad. Fuck, man. I can see a, okay, dude. Let me go down to the other ones. All right, here we go.
it should showcase just how out of touch you are with them.
April
In
Fool's
particular,
joke?
the majority of the games are PC oriented, with Blizzard,
Yeah.
Hearthstone being one of the other mobile games.
Yeah.
Why bring it to mobile? Are you trying to reach a new audience of players?
What we remember about BlizzCon 2018 is the charcoal remains of the PR department.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
Blizzard said they were surprised by the negative response.
What? Legend.
Now, either they're lying or they are once again supremely and genuinely out of touch with their community.
Probably both. I would say probably both. They don't really know what the players want. It's hard for them to understand it, and at the same time, they lying for sure though. Well, no, I don't think that they understood. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't understand this, but they don't. I think that a lot of the developers and Blizzard and a lot of companies are like this. They're so insulated from their audience and their actual fans that they don't even directly communicate with them. So the only things that they ever get from their fans are like angry messages. They don't see the positive stuff. They don't see the good stuff. They only see like an angry person who's like tweeting at them on their personal account telling them that they suck. So they're insulated from the actual community. They're separated from the community by these community managers and like these other red tape fucking things that they have going on at Blizzard to make sure devs don't say anything bad. Then on top of that, you have Blizzard probably saying, yeah, obviously we weren't going to say that we knew it was bad, you know? I don't know, man. Because Blizzard's owned by Activision, I don't think that's really what the secret is, man. I'm not sure. Next expansion's gonna hopefully be good. Yeah, I've been saying that for a few years now, probably about 10. I don't know, man. Numbers don't add up. Why? Classic's more popular than retail? Well, just because there are more people that are raiding in Classic versus raiding in retail WoW doesn't mean that Classic's more popular, because Classic only has one end game. So like anybody who's a max level player is going to be doing BWL versus most people that are playing retail WoW don't even raid. So it's not an accurate comparison. Start a video game company? I don't really think that's it, but like that's a big problem. Is like the developers, they don't have like that community engagement that they used to. That's a big issue, right? Retail and it's not about that, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter which game's more popular. Just play whatever you want, but it's simply dumb to say that Classic's more popular. There are obviously more people playing retail WoW. That does not mean that retail WoW is like infinitely better than Classic or anything like that. It's just that there's more to do in retail WoW. Like it's not. I don't know.
Am I so out of touch? No.
Blizzard, your fan base is mostly a PC gamer demographic.
Yeah,
those are the people who buy tickets to BlizzCon.
Yep.
If you want to make a phone game, make a phone game.
Of course.
But don't expect your fans to give a shit or not bombard you with questions like,
is there any plan to make this playable on PC, or is this strictly mobile?
That's one thing I was curious about.
Nothing!
Blizzard's ideals and principles were shelved in favor of tapping into the mobile gaming market. If you didn't think they were selling out with the auction house, you sure did now.
You guys all have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
You play your tablet too.
Hey, that really sucked!
You guys not. That's the fucking. In 10 years, Blizzard will never live that down. That's the funniest thing about this, is like they will never live that shit down of the one day that they had that happen. I feel bad for them in a way, but at the same time, I kind of, you know, it's what they get at. This mount was so bad. I know it was awful. Like, I felt bad for Blizzard. Like, the thing is, like, I think there's a lot of people, if they had announced Diablo 4 at the same time, and then they announced Diablo Immortal with Diablo 4, everybody would have been super happy, and they would have been excited to play Diablo Immortal and Diablo 4. But the reason why they were mad about this is the bait and switch. They were mad because they thought they were getting Diablo 4, and they got Diablo Immortal instead.
It's not only that, but remember, before that BlizzCon, Blizzard put out a thing on Diablo saying, guys, we heard some rumors and you think that we're going to do like Diablo 4 news this year, and we're not. So they even they knew it was coming, and they tried to curtail the amount of backlash they would get, and it still didn't.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. So I guess, like, yeah, how could they say they didn't expect people to be negative about it if they made a press release saying that there weren't going to be the things that people were expecting? A little bit contradictory. Blizzard stocks fell 20% of their days because of Diablo Immortal. I mean, like, I think Diablo 4, okay? Like, Diablo 4 does look really good. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, like, I don't see how Diablo 4 can compete with PoE. I don't see how it's possible. Like, PoE is just so far ahead in terms of ARPG. Diablo 4, I mean, obviously I think Diablo 4 is going to have superior combat and fluidity than PoE because that's what Blizzard really specializes in. Only people who write positive messages about Blizzard will get beta access. We'll see what happens. But overall, that's one thing, like, Diablo 3 really has. Like, combat feels visceral in Diablo 3. Like, whenever you hit somebody with a fucking slam with that hammer ability, like barbarians, and the corpses go fucking everywhere, that feels fucking good. Like, the combat in Diablo 3 feels really good. Or at least it did back whenever I played it. I haven't compared it to anything recent. But PoE is very complex. So I think Diablo, if they're going to go, I don't think that they should try to compete with PoE in terms of complexity. I don't think so. Because the game is just so, they're so far behind. And also, as a AAA development studio, they're just not going to be as agile as grinding Gear Games is. They will just never be as agile as they are. Because there's too many people involved in the project for that to happen. So it would be a better decision for them to make basically PoE light and just kind of have that fill the void. It's the same as, like, you have games like Escape from Tarkov, right? Where it's like a very, very complex game, and because of its complexity, a lot of people don't get into it. And you have other people that like Warzone because it's simple. And you can kind of compare those two games. There's a lot of people that are positive about it, a lot of people that are not. People don't really hate Tarkov, they just don't want to play it. And I think that's the difference that Blizzard can hopefully go with. Blizzard can be Warzone, where PoE can be Tarkov. That is, in my opinion, the best possible outcome. Record profits.
Video game
layoffs.
development is notorious for how hellish it can be. An extremely competitive market filled with stressful deadlines, long hours, hectic work weeks, and worst of all, uncertainty of consistent employment.
Hey,
when a game is finished and out the door, many employees have to wonder if they too will be sent out. Well,
dude, I remember that shit that happened, man. Like Marty O'Donnell. Remember that, McConnell? They fired Marty O'Donnell. This
Fuck's
dude.
that?
What do you mean, who's that? That is the dude that made the Halo music. And I remember they got rid of this guy, like, right after they got finished making a game or something. I don't remember, like, what it was specifically, but I felt so sad about that. Because that's the guy that made the Halo music. Like, I fucking loved that music. That guy is a fucking legend, man. And they just got rid of him. I was so sad to see it. Fuck. Before Destiny came out? Yeah, it was before Destiny? I don't know. It's Destiny 1? I don't remember now. Let me see.
we sent out? Well, Blizzard answered that question by laying off 800 employees in February of 2019. 800 people with families and lives and an income they need, benefits, insurance, gone. Well, employees, this has been real educational and all, but now it's time to part with that old Activision Blizzard saying. Get the fuck out of my building! During this time, Activision Blizzard reported...
I mean, like, I don't think it was a necessarily... Was it a bad decision to fire the people if they felt like those people weren't necessary? Like, I don't think that it's like, I don't know. It's like they always do that. Yeah, I mean, yes, what the fuck? Yeah, it's a business. They rehired the positions. That's the shady thing about it, right?
The kicker, right?
That's what I think makes it bad. But like, companies restructure all the time. I don't think that it's fair to just kind of like demonize any company for doing layoffs if they feel like certain positions are redundant or not important anymore. Like that's what they have to do.
No, they didn't do. I don't think that's why. Like, I mean, it might be. I'm talking out my ass, but it could be like, you know, those employees were there for so long, and they would have gotten more benefits as time went on. They would have had to offer more benefits, and they didn't want to do that because it would have been expensive.
Yeah.
So they just hired new people.
Yeah.
They said fuck that, and then they just hired new people.
Yeah, CEO bonus, same every year, by the way. Well, yeah, I mean, like, what I'm saying is that, like, the CEO bonus and this are, like, kind of two separate things. I don't think that businesses have an obligation to employ people whenever those people don't provide a tangible benefit to the business based off of what the business considers valuable. Like, I don't think that they have an obligation to do that. Because to say otherwise is basically saying that, like, businesses have to hire people, which is, I don't think that's fair either. But I think that really the shadiest thing about this is the fact that they rehire people for the exact same position.
$7.5 billion in sales, $1.8 billion in pure profit. Crack the goddamn champagne bottles, what an accomplishment. You guys remember the Wii U? Yeah, it was pretty gross and flopping super hard back in...
I know what he's gonna say. I'll just let him say it.
2014. Nintendo was not looking good, and at that point the boss, Satoru Iwata, took a pay cut to keep his employees employed. That was at a time when Nintendo saw a 30% decrease in profits. People looked to big...
Yeah, I remember whenever that happened, man. That guy's a fucking legend. Like, that guy was also... Wasn't he the one that coded Pokemon, like, Gold and, like, Silver or whatever? To have all the old zones, too? And everybody thought it was impossible? Like, that guy is a fucking legend. And, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was insane. So... It's like, it is different, but also, I think that there's something to be said. I really like the, I don't know if it's really like a Japanese, like, business values, but I could call it that, right? The Nintendo business values, at least. Nintendo, I feel like, is probably one of the most steady and solid companies throughout the entire, like, gaming restructuring, because what they've done is they've stayed true to what they are. And instead of trying to compete with PC games, they've done things different with the Switch. They've made the Switch portable. They made the Wii, where you move your hands around. They're innovative in a way that PlayStation and Xbox aren't taking chances with. And because of that, they're focusing on their audience of generally younger gamers, making games that are more lighthearted for the most part, and they're still succeeding, and everybody still loves Nintendo. And that's very important to keep in mind. Like, PR stuff, like, it's not a big deal, but it does matter. It does really matter. That they did and it flopped. I think the Wii was successful. The Wii was very successful. The Wii U was not successful because it didn't translate, and it didn't, people didn't know it was a new console, basically. That was my understanding. Like, I did some reading about this, and I saw like a few like articles about it. People didn't understand the Wii U was a new console. They thought it was like an add-on to the current Wii. And that's why when the Switch came out, it was very, very popular. Like, the Switch is extremely popular now. I don't know how popular, really. I don't have any numbers. But I think it's a very popular game, or a very popular console. Like, if I was going to pick right now, I'll give you guys this example, right? And obviously this is the 20-minute tangent in the middle of a 40-minute video, right? I have every single Nintendo console ever since Super Nintendo. And I would have had the original Nintendo, but I wasn't old enough. So I started there. I have GameCube, Nintendo 64, fucking Wii, the Wii U, the Switch. I have everything. Every single fucking console. Xbox, I don't have the new Xbox, and I don't have the new, I don't have the PS3. I never got it, it didn't matter to me. But Nintendo, I always made sure I had a Nintendo, because they were doing something unique and different. I have a PS4. I have a PS4, I didn't buy a PS3.
Companies for guidance. We want to feel good about where our money is going. Is it going to Bobby Kotick's wallet? Or is it going to the people down and dirty on the front lines who sometimes work 70+ hours a week? Nintendo made a statement about the importance of their employees. And Blizzard did the same. They were just radically opposite statements.
Yeah.
I get that a company may take on more workers than they need over time. And Activision Blizzard might not have been able to find a place for these 800 lost souls. But does that make it any less disheartening for a company to be celebrating its greatest success without sharing that with some of the people who made that happen?
In June 2003, the leaders of the Diablo project left Blizzard North. Feeling like they weren't involved with the big decisions anymore, and unable to guarantee their own employees' compensations and futures, the Blizzard North executives protested.
I remember this.
They even went so far as to tender resignations unless they were heard. Unfortunately, those resignations were accepted.
In 2019, perceptions around Blizzard had completely changed. And in October of 2019, a professional Hearthstone player, the martyr Blitzchung, made
This was such a... I remember the day this happened, everybody was going... Do you remember that, McConnell?
What was it?
The Blitzchung, the free Hong Kong thing.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God, dude.
That was rough.
That day, everybody, like, every streamer, like, was just getting fucking harassed that was playing a Blizzard game because people thought that, like, they were doing a good thing by harassing a streamer from playing a video game. It's like, that's one of the dark sides of internet activism, is that it rationalizes bad behavior for people, and it just makes them feel good about, you know, hurting other people and being assholes. And that was not good, but at the same time, like, I got a lot whenever, because, like, obviously I was, like, you know, classic WoW, and a lot of people that were fucking, that were watching me, and it was fucking awesome. And another day of people rationalize bad behavior no matter what. I don't really think that's necessarily it. You banned so many people that day? Yeah, I just started banning people because of it. Because they were just like, they were so emotionally invested in it. And I'll talk more about this, but I'll let him start.
a political statement in support of the Hong Kong protests while on a live stream.
Nuclear launch detected.
There we go.
Nuclear launch detected.
As Americans, we are naturally sympathetic to those who have had their freedom stripped away unfairly.
They say a man never really knows himself until his freedom's been taken away.
Hell
Such
yeah,
is
brother.
the undisputed case in China. Now, I'm not trying to grandstand, but
Yeah.
China isn't exactly the paragon of human rights.
No!
Yet Blizzard's
No, it's
monetary
not.
ties to China, like many other U.S. companies, they have to tiptoe around China's strict guidelines to release their products in their country. They are very picky and very profitable.
China's actually a free
something like that.
Not taking any chances, Blizzard banned his ass. Fuck those new casters. No payment. You're gone. You're banned. Hope you learn your lesson. Speaking out about human rights issues.
I don't think that... The thing is that it's very complex because I think really what the problem was is that they were censoring for this company. And, or do you know? No, it isn't. Here it comes. No, it's not. So I'm going to say something that's probably going to be controversial. Okay.
Oh, don't.
I've got it. I mean, like, we got to have some common fucking sense. Okay. Like, yes, to a degree, I don't want to see people that go and the agreement was that they would not make political statements on the show. And he goes and he makes a political statement on the show, and he gets removed. That's not, like, he violated the contract. Like, do you want to have every single thing somebody takes their hobby horse and then they fucking talk about it whenever they're on the show? No, I don't think so at all, man. And true, no, I mean, the thing is, like, there's no reason to act like not again. Well, that's because people are blinded by emotions and they're not thinking logically. Do you want every single show that Blizzard does to be inundated with the casters and the competitors' politics? No.
An enemy has been
Of course
slain.
not. I don't want that. I don't think anybody wants that. So I don't understand how this is somehow different. Now, the reason why it was bad is because Blizzard was doing it because it was not because it conflicted with their values, but because it conflicted with their profit. Like, that's all there is to it. So, for example, if someone had gone up there and they had said, and also because it was in China, it's like if somebody had said in Hearthstone that they believe that everybody should have the right to marry whoever they want, Blizzard would not have fired them. They would not have fined them. They would not have banned them from the NX, okay? They would not have done this. So the issue was that it was selective as well. Is that Blizzard takes a stand and pretends about caring about human rights, and then whenever it can cost them money, they fold. Which is like, okay, that's fine. If you want to decide that and you want to make your decisions based off of that, it's completely okay. If you want to be just a soulless, blood-sucking company, then be a soulless, blood-sucking company. But don't be a soulless, blood-sucking company and then post things about how much you care about different minorities.
I decide what the tide will
letting
bring.
other minorities get dominated by an authoritarian, totalitarian police state. Like, you can't have the two of them. I think that the hypocrisy was what was really bad. That's what I didn't like.
On our platform, this is not a political platform, except it is.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's convenient for us.
Exactly.
Now I did a whole...
Not convenient, but profitable. It's profitable. But I know that, like, obviously is simping so hard? No, I'm not. I'm speaking logic. I'm telling the truth, right? And because the thing is, like, the logical conclusion of what I'm saying is something that everybody would agree with, but because it's with something that they are emotionally invested in, they're not thinking about it clearly. I don't think that there's any sort of weird shit going on. Like, there's nothing wrong with Blizzard not wanting political messages on their platform, but they can't say that and then only be okay with some political messages and not others.
Video on this subject, please check that out if you are at all interested. I summarize it a lot more in depth, so I'll be brief. On its own, it's a fucked up decision. But with the George Floyd protests, it also shows the real double standard and hypocrisy. You banned Blitzchung, docked his pay, fired the casters involved, all because he supported a protest in Hong Kong.
I never was against them firing the casters. I'll say this again, because they knew what he was about to say. How did they know what he was about to say? Because they put their heads down so they wouldn't be able to be seen by the government. They knew what he was going to say. And so obviously they colluded in allowing him to break the rules of the tournament. Like, it seems pretty obvious to me. Is that bad? Well, wait. But they're not production? They have no power over what he says?
Yeah.
Or people disagree with that? Wait, why do you guys disagree with that?
They're fucking mad. They're questioning you and everything. Look at
Well,
chat
I don't
right
understand how that, like, they put their head down before he said anything. Why would they do that unless they knew what he was going to say? Or at least this far. They probably knew what he was going to say before he said it. That implies that there was some sort of collusion about this, and they willingly allowed this to happen. They did not tell production. They did not do anything like that, and they allowed it to happen, which put people in jeopardy, people's jobs in jeopardy. They probably saw him put on the mask. Maybe that could be it. I don't know. But I think that it's also completely possible that they talked with him. What are they supposed to do? Not interview him? It's not their choice. They could tell production, have production talk to him and tell him not to do that. Or tell him not to do that himself, because it puts other people's jobs at risk. There's a lot of people whose jobs, like, you guys need to remember this, right? Blizzard taking a stand against China loses a lot of people their jobs. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do, but what I'm saying is that it's not as black and white as you might think. This altruism that you might believe in is actually selfish in many ways.
And you have the gall to post this on Twitter, as if your company represents this statement wholeheartedly.
Of course
Racism has no place in our society or any society, except Hong Kong and China. Those societies are cool. Nothing's wrong with them. All is well consumed product. Even if you weren't just another company
like that,
morally grandstanding on these protests and this issue while it's current, it's blatantly hypocritical. Outrage was so astronomical at Blizzard that the United States Congress asked them to reduce the punishment. Motherfucking Congress got involved. You fucked up so badly.
They're just trying to get on top of it for clout. They don't give a fuck.
Boycotts were gaining traction.
I don't
Blizzard
believe that.
had yet another PR nightmare on their hands.
Yeah, right.
Base is under attack.
Our town is under siege.
We're being attacked. We are under attack.
They're destroying our city.
The town is under attack.
This sounds like me.
Our town is under attack.
Now, they eventually reduced the punishment but never actually directly addressed the criticism, only vaguely stated that
we will do better going forward.
J. Allen Brack deserves a lot of flack for how he handled this situation. You're supposed to be
I don't like how they didn't mention the guy. I thought that was kind of silly to me. They didn't mention the guy. They didn't talk about it. They only referred to it. What do you call it? They only referred to it tangentially. Opinion on conduit strange that are flanking destroyed. No farm them. You still have to. I don't know. I'll have to think about that later. But yeah, I mean, they didn't say it. They didn't say any. They didn't name the guy. They didn't name the event. They didn't do anything. Everybody knew what they were talking about, but they didn't do anything about it. And I thought that was kind of cheap. But I think that Blizzard, they just want to keep their relationship with China good so they can keep making money. Like that, I mean, that's what it is. Like the government, the US government isn't going to punish Blizzard for putting out a statement about Black Lives Matter, but the Chinese government will punish Blizzard for putting out a statement or a platforming statement about how free Hong Kong should happen. That's why it happened. And again, I'm fine with them being a soulless, blood-sucking company, but don't pretend like you have a soul sometimes and not others. The hypocrisy is what the problem is.
Leader. And at this point, Blizzard employees were probably feeling,
every decision you've made led us from bad to worse.
Shit. Oh boy.
Oh fuck.
Finally, we arrived to present day. Warcraft 3 Reforged.
I've said this before. I would say it one more time since we're in the video. Have you guys ever noticed how after they brought this game out, the WoW players stopped asking for reforging? As soon as they added this fucking game, boom, they're like, you know what? No, please don't reforge anything else, Blizzard. Stop it. Stop reforging. No more reforging. We can't take any more reforging.
Dream come true for me. You have no idea how badly I wanted to see the custom games and multiplayer revived.
I think everybody
and
did.
Get hyped about it as if Warcraft 3 was a brand new game.
Yeah, of course.
This is Blizzard's latest and most damning fuck up of all. With a chance to revitalize one of the most important video games of all time. With a chance to revive the community, get new gamers into it, into RTS games, a genre that has been dying. Blizzard left the Warcraft 3 community in a worse place than if they had never touched it.
It's actually kind of funny that they somehow made it even worse than if they had done nothing. It's like usually you're kind of, you go and it's just like a neutral effect, but with Reforged, I really do think that they made it even worse. I'll be right back, I need to take a piss.
Where are you going? Make sure to give Asmund a lot of money. Make sure to give him as much money as possible.
This fucking cinematic, what a disappointment.
How can
this
a
was
company
so bad.
actually deteriorate a product's value 18 years later? That's a topic for your business class. Especially since the game...
Making an 18-year-old game worse. That's impressive, man. It really is.
Game still had an active community, and you tore out features and content that they've enjoyed for years. The way Warcraft 3 launched is beyond belief, but illustrates just how far detached Blizzard has become from not only their past, but their fans.
We didn't live up to the high standards that we really set for ourselves.
No shit.
When?
I speculate it was released in the state it was because of shareholder pressure, something that ex-members of Blizzard have said is tampering the way the company used to operate. Fans were beyond upset, and Warcraft 3 Reforged rightfully takes the crown for lowest review score on Metacritic.
Wait, really? It's the worst one ever?
No way.
I don't believe it, man. That's fucking incredible. And the beta is out. The beta's out.
There's even a parody website called Warcraft 3 Refunded that just made fun of all the bullshit Blizzard had peddled about this game. I won't go into every detail. I'll link some videos that do if you're interested. But here are the main points. 1.
Yeah.
Blatantly misleading marketing led people to believe this classic title would have all its cutscenes remastered and
imagine
remade.
that.
What we got was
Servers are offline.
not that. In fact, Homeboy
I
here
want to just pause this real quick and show you guys.
actually showcases how the cinematography is less dynamic and interesting than the 2002 version.
Yep.
I'll
Somehow.
hunt you to the ends of the earth if I have to. Do you hear me? To the ends of the earth!
He's just standing there.
It is there that your true destiny will unfold.
Or this one's after him this time, right?
I'll hunt you to the ends of the earth if I have to. Do you hear me? To the ends of the earth!
That was way fucking better, man.
It's like they didn't even try. 2. Tons of core features of the game from 2002-2003 were not re-implemented. Ranked ladders gone. If you play multiplayer, prepare to get ass blasted because there is no ranking system at all. 3. Art direction was butchered. Ew. Gross. What is that?
It doesn't.
Oh,
the thing
sick.
is, like, it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like Blizzard. That's really kind of the issue about it. Is it just doesn't look like Blizzard. Period. The quality. It just felt so stilted. I think that's basically what it is. It just felt really, really stilted. And yeah, Blizzard didn't make it. You're right. Blizzard did not fucking make it. And I'm not surprised, honestly. Like, why not? Yeah, fuck it. Who cares? And Reddit has better. My Reddit has better art. That is, yeah, it is kind of true, man. A tier? Me? What do you mean A tier? Am I A tier? Okay. Awesome, thanks. Okay. Yeah, thank you guys.
Original Warcraft 3 does
This
look
cinematic was
extremely
really
dated,
good.
but everything is way more colorful and unique, recognizable. 4. Classic Warcraft 3 and even StarCraft 1 had a system implemented to prevent people from being dropped from matches. If your connection was interrupted or a little shaky at times, you get like a 45-second countdown timer, and if your internet was good then, the match would continue. Reforged does not have this.
Being pulled early on, Lawlight was trying to go for a greedy Ancient of Warcraft, but if
bug,
this is
right?
cancelled, oh damn!
It's a bug.
That was not a bad BM leaving of the game. This was a disconnect once again. I'm almost 100% sure.
Yeah,
Lawlight would never do this.
But he has enough mana. I don't need a blood
That's
mage.
a
I don't
fucking
need
bug, man.
You're benched.
What a surprise.
And looks like another drop.
Okay.
If your internet connection is...
Yeah, that was really, really fucking bad. I don't even know what to say about that. It's complete fucking dog shit, but, you know, it is what it is. Small indie company? Yeah, exactly. No LAN matches. It was just complete fucking garbage, okay? And I want to say also, like, the reason, that's why you guys coming into chats, this is why I don't do the streamer ratings. Because people go into other people's chats and talk shit to them for what the other streamers rate them. That's why I never did the rating the girl streamers or rating other streamers, is because I knew people would do this. It's obnoxious. It is obnoxious. But like, I just want to make that clear. That is the rationalization for why I do not do it. You can check out video source put out. I'll look at that later, but I want to look at this right now.
Isn't perfect, you will be dropped from matches instantly.
Yeah.
This happens even in campaign missions, where you get an automatic mission failed screen.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad. Warcraft 3 Reforged represents Blizzard's complete lack of empathy or care for their older games and the fans who still play them. They just pissed on their own legacy. And these problems barely scratch the surface. And now Blizzard is forced to take their sweet time fixing things that never needed to be fixed. In the pursuit of money and who knows what else, Blizzard has lost their identity, being one of the core titans of the industry. And seeing them fall so far, fall lower than the likes of Bungie, is just sad, man. The franchises they used to be known and loved for are not what they once were. Where they used to be dedicated towards the fans, now they are dedicated to the shareholders. It's no longer about what do the fans want, but rather what can we get away with? Blizzard's sin.
That actually is a really good way to look at it. What can we get away? Can we fuck them this hard, or are they gonna start complaining about it? I feel like all gaming companies are like this now almost.
No. There's some good ones. Warhorse is really good, as far as we know.
Yeah, I feel like if a gaming company gets big enough, it turns into this. That Cash App with 100 more gifted subs. Holy shit! Thank you very much, Cash App. God damn! Thank you very much. Thank you, dude. Oh my god. I really appreciate that. Riot's the new Blizzard. I feel like all of these companies are gonna have the same issue happening. Is that, you know, they go public, they've got shareholders, the shareholders are making the decisions through the board, and then basically decisions are made that are not necessarily healthy for the game, they're not healthy for the player base, they're just healthy for profits. That's what matters the most. And yeah, too big to succeed. I think that's what ends up happening. You're right about that. Let me finish the video, it's almost over anyway.
Are numerous. Attempting to disclose private information of their users to solve an issue that could have been fixed by better moderation. Introducing microtransactions that undercut the core design and fun factor of a game people waited 12 years for. Allowing a rival company to steal the commercial rights to one of the most popular games of all time. Changing WoW into something fans didn't want. Failing to provide fans with the experience they had been begging for until an independent group rose up to challenge Blizzard.
Yeah, some random
completely
guys.
misreading their audience by
Who,
building
by the way, have more stable servers than vanilla WoW, classic WoW servers. Like, you guarantee, like, if there were that many people in Ironforge and classic WoW, there'd be people going like, you know, all the time, man. It was just complete fucking garbage, and it still is. I mean, this is... I don't know how the fuck that happens, man. I really don't.
Pipe at their convention for a game their fan base has never expressed interest in. Countless tone-deaf, out-of-touch responses to valid criticism. Tossing out 800 employees like yesterday's trash during their most financially successful year. Punishing people who dare speak on important political and social issues, taking a stand with China, letting internal strife and protests run rampant within the company, tarnishing their own legacy with a careless disregard for the state of Warcraft 3 Reforged.
I don't know why they don't just go back and redo Warcraft 3 Reforged. Like, with Blizzard quality. I feel like they kind of owe it to the players, and they... like, more so they owe it to themselves. I mean, this is like a game that cemented their legacy. It's the reason why World of Warcraft exists is because of Warcraft 3. And it just seems like at a certain point, even if you lose money, it's too late. No, it's not. If they make a good game, people are going to go back and play it no matter what. It doesn't matter. Like, if they go back and they say, you know what, we don't give a fuck, we're still going to do this no matter what, people would still go back and play it. Even if, look at the, exactly. Look at No Man's Sky. I think that's a good example. Beta's updating. I am online in the beta right now. We're just waiting for the servers to come up, okay? That's what's going on.
These are just the monumental blunders, the ones that have affected me the most.
Yeah.
If you want to see current sentiment towards Blizzard, go to their YouTube channel, where the like-dislike ratio is up in the air, and most videos have comments disabled.
Oh my God.
And if you take into consideration that Blizzard said they were going dark on Overwatch 2 information, couple that with the Diablo 4 reveal, and it just seems like a desperate attempt to shift players' focus from what a shithead company they've been to, whoa, look at these new titles. But that's just my theory. Blizzard has proven time and time again where their morals lie, and it's not with the consumers anymore.
I don't think it never really even had to be with the consumers. Like, have you ever thought maybe that if you make a really good game, people are gonna buy it, and if they buy the game, then you make money? Like, I don't know, like, this is like a weird fucking way of looking at things, but if you make a really good game, people buy the game, and then you've got the game, everybody likes it, and it's good. Like, I don't see how this is like a complicated process to deal with. I don't understand that at all. I really don't. On Dark Souls video, I've got another one after this we can look at.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think the biggest problem here that I see is this is just a big problem with capitalism and how capitalism operates solely based on the interest of making money.
Yeah.
And I think we need to overthrow capitalism at its very core.
If we did that, then we just have the same old companies making shitty games every year, I feel. Like, it's just that the problem is that there's not the passion behind the games. And I think that's really the problem. And, like, the focus, in my opinion, the focus is on these, like, short-term games. And I think that's really one of the biggest differences between, like, the way that Nintendo does things and the way, like, Blizzard and these other Western companies do things, is that these Western companies, they're focused primarily on quarterly profits, making money right now, and they're not investing in a stable product in the long term. Whereas you have people like Nintendo that are okay not going with the latest trend and doing, you know, everything that's exactly, you know, the market demands, because they know that their strategy is good for the long term. And I think that there needs to be more of that long-term thinking and less of the short-term thinking, because the short-term thinking, I feel like it alienates a lot of people, and it also isn't healthy for a user base. So I don't know, man. From Software, Nintendo games are boring. Well, not everybody likes them, and that's completely okay. If you don't like it, that's fine. But there are a lot of people that do like it, and I think that's really what the thing is. Look at CD Projekt Red, Asman. They're doing amazing things with their titles, and they do it for the customer's best interest. Well, there's a lot of people that do that. Let me finish the video first.
So now do you see the decline of Blizzard?
Yes.
I do, but...
I do.
But what, my son? What happens now? Will Blizzard ever redeem themselves?
I hope
Will
so.
I ever be excited for another title?
Yeah.
That is for them to decide.
It sure
we can
is.
only... But if I were you at then, I would let go of hope. Let go before it leads you astray, like it did to me.
Yeah.
Ignorant thralls.
I think, like, look at the related video. Look at look at the related video here, the decline of gaming. That's what I'm trying to get at, is I don't think that what's happened here is something that's unique to Blizzard. I think this is happening with all gaming companies. Like, I feel like, yeah, this is happening with everything. Watch it? I might watch it, but, like, right now, I want to talk about this one right now. The decline of entertainment. I mean, like, we're waiting for the beta to come out. Like, I'll show you guys here.
So much for Nihilo.
It's still fucking offline. Like, you knew we were gonna do the beta. Like, the beta's out. Like, did you get you got the beta, right?
No, I didn't get the beta.
Bullshit, you got the beta. There's no way you got in the alpha, not the beta.
Hey, I only get into alphas, you understand,
if the tables returned, I would show you
Okay,
no
all right,
mercy.
whatever. Every company's just pumping out BRs. Yeah, I mean, I feel like generally, like, gaming has gone, because now gaming is much more popular. And people draw this same conclusion with streaming also. They say that streaming has become more mainstream, and it's like more about making money than it is like making a good stream or building a community. People are more focused on making money rather than anything else. You guys see what I'm saying? And the update, the alpha, the beta, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I don't know, man. Like, I really get disappointed with this, and it's sad to see it, but I think that everything that he said is completely true. That's really what it comes down to. Everything that he said is completely 100% fucking true. There it is. World of Warcraft's most disappointing moment. So we're gonna start at the beginning. Right there, dude. That's one. When did the mount off? No, no. Not looking for a girlfriend.
Disappointment, sadness, or
loud.
displeasure caused by the non-fulfillment of one's hopes or expectations. Throughout World of Warcraft's history, there have been huge highs. From its launch in 2004, it soared to new heights with the Great Burning Crusade expansion, ultimately peaking in the Wrath of the Lich King, where it attained an all-time high of around 12 million subscribers. With every high, there's also a low, however, and the game has had a number of disappointing events in its 15-year run so far. Moments where fans' expectations were soaring in the heavens, but when the time came to deliver, they were left soured to not only World of Warcraft, but Blizzard Entertainment as a whole. In this video, we'll chronicle some of the biggest disappointments in the game's history.
That fucking picture, dude. I love that fucking
picture. In 2019, players enjoyed a trip to the past with Blizzard's official recreation of the game in its original state in 2004 to 2007, often referred to as vanilla. They were thrilled to re-experience the world as it once was, with all
I
of the
still have the
original
video
classes,
of the live crowd reaction. I never uploaded it.
skills,
Ooh.
talent systems.
Spawn.
They reminisced on the early days of raiding in particular.
Those were the
where
days,
the maximum
boys.
cap was 40 players.
Those
and
were the
games
days.
Such as looking for raid or LFR were entirely absent. A difficulty setting that's often seen as being too easy, requiring minimal effort or thought to complete it
It's a
fully.
good thing Classic is there.
With Classic having just one difficulty, there were no easy options, players thought. And just like the old days, only the most hardcore would be able to survive.
That's right.
Minions have spawned.
Players are garbage at the game. 6 days. 42 minutes PWL. 19 man Onyxia.
What players
This
don't
isn't
realize,
vanilla.
however, was that not only were these
It'd be
raids
vanilla if it
not
was
as
a
hard as
3-man.
remembered, but they were rather quite easy.
Yeah, they were.
2004 to 2007 was a different time. It was during the dawn of the internet.
God, dude.
People had
Look
bad
at those
connections.
nerds.
Video
All of them
sharing
are bald
websites
now.
such as YouTube or Pornhub didn't exist yet, or were still in the early stages. Database websites were extremely limited, as were add-ons, and a lot of the information and strategies for bosses were shared through word of mouth or online text guides. Combine this with the fact that the World of Warcraft was the first MMO for many people, and for some their first game period, set an unrealistic expectation of the difficulty of these old raids. We all know that the first time is the most awkward. It's a learning experience for everyone involved.
Never mind.
For many, it was the beginning of a long and wonderful journey, and for others it lasted,
few days.
5 seconds.
Yeah, somewhere
You've
around.
heard it before. I don't need to go into specifics. The Molten Core, as well
You
as
think you
Onyxia,
do,
were cleared within
but
the
you
first
don't.
week by the Guild Apes. This is also taking into account the time it took to even level the characters, and many members weren't even level 60 yet.
This was really
And that's
impressive,
not
the fact they
compared
did
the
this.
entire raiding scene to the most hardcore, but in general,
Yeah.
coming from someone who had no life and raided back then, it's undeniably easier. Gear optimizations, rotation, optimization, loot distribution, add-ons, all of it. Everything's been optimized to such an insane degree that there's hardly anything hard anymore.
It's just, it's
Not that
so
there's anything wrong with
optimized.
that. I mean, what's the alternative? Suck intentionally? Guys.
Yeah. I think people do that. They play bad specs. That's what they do. Yeah, obviously the game is way fucking easier. Yeah, it's way fucking easier. Like, itemization makes it a little bit easier. I think MC got nerfed once. If they bring out PvC, I do hope that they make sure they release all of the bosses and everything with all of their pre-nerf values. Minus the Karazhan ones, because those were overtuned. Like, Nightbane was super overtuned. Maybe even Gruul was kind of overtuned. But besides that, like, I want to have everything with their original pre-nerf values. Maru? Yes, even Maru. I think Maru will be a lot easier now than it is. Minus Vosh. See, I didn't do Vosh whenever it just came out. And so I didn't do actually Karazhan hardly whenever it came out either, but I don't think that would be it. Unnerved Kale? Yeah, put it out there, see what happens.
We're doing a little too well here. For the next fight,
I think they should have done that with
it just comes with the
Cthulhu.
territory with recreating anything in life, really. You can never really truly recreate your very first time.
No, you can't.
And even going outside of optimization for a while. Fights themselves are rather straightforward compared to today, where you have multiple phases, on top of more complex rotations and everything.
Yeah, mechanics
It's
are
understandable.
nothing.
It was the early stages of grading before there was a set standard, but something that's aged pretty poorly. It's not bad, it's just easy. A lot of these fights feel like trash mobs. They go down faster than current subscription numbers. Only time will tell if the upcoming raids will share a similar fate to the players.
Hey.
This video was made just after the new release of the Falcon Lair raid. But the knowledge and skill we've collectively accumulated over the past 15 years was something that was surely taken for granted by players.
Yeah.
They were disappointed to realize that it wasn't the mechanics of the actual boss fights that stopped them back then, but rather
They
a collective
suck.
lack of experience with the game.
People sucked back then, like that's what it is. Oh god, Sylvanas.
Have you ever read a really bad fan fiction of your favorite TV show or anime?
Yeah, I called it
Oftentimes,
Warlords of
people will
Draenor.
fantasize a representation of themselves within these fantasy worlds, commonly referred to as self-inserts.
Yep.
A lack of skill in writing and storytelling often results in these characters being ultimately powerful and falling victim to common fictional tropes.
Yep.
No matter what seemingly insurmountable odds they face, they always seem to come out as the victor. Like when you played Cops and Robbers with your friends, and you get them, like they claim that they have some invisible bullshit force field or something.
We can't beat the Hulk, man.
You're the Sylvanas Windrunner.
Yep. I am so tired of this bitch, man.
Having been established in the lore for many years, many would believe for her.
I am so tired of her.
With the release of the Battle for Azeroth expansion, she's become a key player in the story of the game. As the new war chief of the Horde, she goes on a savage campaign, slaughtering many innocents along the way in a Disney-esque villain-like fashion. Murdering civilians, burning down capitals, betraying her own faction, executing comrades. The only thing that's missing on her bucket list is drowning a basket of kittens.
That's for Shadowlands. Have you guys ever noticed that almost every single female character in WoW goes through a crazy arc? You have Jaina, Sylvanas, Yrel. Like, I really, like, if you think about it, they all go through a crazy arc. Tyrande, yep, there you go. Ilaria, yeah, I mean, she literally got possessed by an old god. Nobody ever talks about this, you know what I mean? Ysera, yeah, look at that.
But surely this madness will come to an end. Surely, out of the millions of inhabitants of Azeroth, someone could put a stop to her reign of terror.
Yep.
Of course, it would be the entirety of the Alliance army, including Jaina Proudmoore and her magical code, and also Anduin Rin, armed with Shalamine, or maybe the King of Furries, Gen Greymane.
Yep. Nope.
Well, if not them, it's definitely the combined might of the Archdruid, Malfurion Stormrage, and Tyrande Whisperwind.
Yep.
Well, maybe Sourfang?
Nobody thought
the
Sarfang
legendary
was
Orc
going to come
warrior?
out ahead. He's like 80 years old. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Okay, dude.
No, all disregarded and dispatched with a smile and just one single scratch. Heh.
Yep.
Nothing personal, kid. Well, if not any of them, about the king of all undead, the ultimate evil jailer of all unliving in the entire world, and the focus of an entire two-year expansion, in unending evil, the Lich King. And he's down. Seriously.
Like, I got it that, like, Bolvar is not as powerful as Arthas. But this was stupid. Like, this was stupid. I don't... See, Sylvanas' plans are so they're so... She's so secretive with her plans that the writers don't even know what she's going to do next. She tricks even the writers. And I don't know what the fuck to say about this, but I'm really upset about what happened with Bolvar. This was, I know I was, like, the cinematic looked cool, but I was so angry watching the cinematic.
An enemy has been slain.
I was so fucking upset about it.
Seriously, he didn't even put up a fight.
No,
one of the most powerful beings since the beginning of the game's history didn't even get a single hit in, and was left crying on the floor over his broken toy.
Pathetic.
Essentially being toyed with the entire fight, as if it were an episode of Naruto.
Yeah.
Players for years have been eagerly awaiting the return of the Lich King, who was once Ner'zhul and then Arthas Menethil, and now Bolvar War Dragon. He was the focus of an entire expansion of what many consider to be the height of the game. Since the expansion's end, he's been the jailer of all undead in the world, lording over his kingdom in the Ice-Crowned Citadel.
I was so hyped, man. I was so fucking hyped.
Legion expansion, commanding the Death Knights of Azeroth to fight against the Burning Crusade. Well, it seemed like Blizzard had big plans for him. So when the cinematic for Shadowlands came out, and people saw him getting ready to face off against Sylvanas, they flipped out. Surely he would be the one to end her reign of terror. Undead King versus Undead. But not only did he fail to stop her,
the thing is,
completely embarrassed.
This didn't even need to happen. The funny thing about it is they literally could have had Bolvar beat Sylvanas, and the same storyline could have happened. It's so fucking stupid. And people are like, oh, well, he didn't have the powers. Like, oh, really? So we just made that Blizzard because he's a paladin. Give me a fucking break. Yeah, she is a girl. That's true. I forgot about that.
I mean, was it really necessary that he looked to be on the verge of tears by the end of it?
Be your prison. This world is a prison.
It's not a phase. 10 years. Players waited over 10 years to see one of their favorite villains make it into the big screen, and this is what we got. It's like, geez, is he still level 80 or something? What's going on here? This isn't as much complaining about Sylvanas as it is making one of the most storied villains in Warcraft history look like a chump. They explained in the lore just why Sylvanas is so strong.
Yeah.
She's made a deal with an unlocked jailer in the Shadowlands, where she grows in power as people die. But that doesn't mean it's good storytelling or that the fans have to like it.
Still stupid.
Ultimately powerful and undefeatable villains are shallow and boring characters, no matter the reasoning behind them. I mean, why do we have Sargeras banished right now? Sylvanas is so goddamn strong, just release him. Let her do her anime combo, and she'll surely dispatch him just as easily as the others.
Yeah, of course.
On the next episode of Sylvanas Ball Z, the time for games are over as our heroic heroine storms the home of the dreaded Lich King.
I think he was
without even wiping her shoes. Little did he know, though, she came prepared. And remember, cool banshees don't look at explosions. Will anyone ever stop her? Does anyone even care anymore? Find out on the next exciting episode of Sylvanas Ball Z.
Fucking ridiculous.
At number 6, we have the disappointing moment when the Lich King was made into the Bitch King.
I'm not happy about it, man.
Stepping outside the game
I
for a
forgot
moment,
about
it's been
this
a pretty
one.
hefty past couple of years of scandals.
Oh god.
It seems like every few months there's this huge controversy they're at the center at. Warcraft 3 Reforged, the banning of Blitzchung amidst the Hong Kong protests, and the prize pool scandal. Since 2008, Blizzard has officially held a competitive esports event for World of Warcraft called the Arena World Championship, where teams of players square off against each other for prizes and glory in the game's arena mode PvP system. The prize pool for the winners ranged from $120,000 in 2008 to $280,000 in 2018, all funded by Blizzard themselves. And
$280,000. Split 4 ways. So that's what, 140 divided by 2, it's 70,000. $70,000, about half of it's going to go to taxes for prize pool winnings. So you come out of it with about 40 grand. So you either can be a McDonald's manager or win Disney. Split between all places? Wait, split between all places? 280K total. I don't know what I was thinking. You're right.
And since then, with the advent of Mythic Plus,
oh my God,
the addition of another event called the Mythic Dungeon International, also with its own prize pool. For 2019, however, the stakes had been raised.
They sure had.
Blizzard announced the release of 2 toys in the World of Warcraft cash shop.
And we all wanted
them. 25% of the proceeds would contribute towards 2019's Arena World Championship.
25%.
And
I even defended this 25% number because that's the same thing that Dota used. I even fucking defended this because it was an industry standard. I'm mad.
Dungeon International, guaranteeing that at least 250,000 would go towards each event. So, this led players to believe that this would come out of Blizzard's end, and that the 25% of the sales of the toys would be added on top of that. However, when time came to announce the prizes, players were disappointed and outraged to learn that unlike every esport event previous to 2019, Blizzard had not funded their own prize pool.
Surprise!
Instead, used the entirety of the toy sales to serve as a reward for 2019's tournaments, totaling $330,000 for each event.
And I gave them the benefit of the doubt with this. Remember whenever this happened, I remember very clearly, I was getting carried in BRD on my Warlock, and I was like, I don't know if this is true or not, and Snuts fucking messages me. Like, well, no, because I'm like, there's no way Blizzard can do something this fucking stupid. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. And you know what? Snuts comes on, and I was wrong. I was wrong. You still remember that? I remember everything, dude. Like, Sam Pass. Well, no, I'm not. Here's like a line of logic that I use, right? And so I have like a general like a way that I see the world and expect the world to go. And whenever things go outside of the window that I expect them to go in, right? Like too well or too badly, I assume something weird happened outside of just the normal situation, right? And it makes me question as to whether what I'm seeing is real or not. Okay, you see what I'm saying? That's autism? No, it's not. That's common sense. It's like if I randomly see something crazy happen, it's like, oh wow, an alien came down from space. Well, I'm going to just assume that probably didn't fucking happen. You know what I mean? Because it's outside of the normal window of what happens on an everyday basis and what my rational mind has led me to believe and expect will happen inside of the world that we live in. But, and so, like, I'm like, there's no way Blizzard would do this. Like, how could anybody say this is a good idea? Who's there at Blizzard sitting there like, yeah, so we're just gonna take the money.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Again, through the wording of the initial announcement, it was believed that Blizzard would get $250,000 for each,
deliberately
and then
misleading.
25% of the proceeds from the toy sales would contribute towards the prize pools.
To play their game.
Miriam, could you define the word contribute for us?
Contribute. To give or supply in common with others.
Oh, in common.
To give or supply in common with others.
I guess they let us
meaning
use the
have
venue
sole
for BlizzCon.
source of funding. It's like being invited to a party and everything's all la-di-da, and all of a sudden you're paying for everything. Oops. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to toy with you. Many believe that once they saw the success of the toy sales, they decided to save themselves some extra dough and put the responsibility of funding the prize pool of their own tournament on the player base, a sentiment that was later confirmed by participants of the tournament. They felt as if the rug was pulled out from under them when they greeted multi-billion-dollar corporation to abuse the charitable nature of their own customer base and to save some money to pay all of their hardworking employees some extra. Oh shit. Well, never mind that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty bad. Like, I think that the worst part about it is that the players were misled. If Blizzard had said ahead of time that they were just going to have that replace the prize pool, like, some people would have been disappointed about that, but nobody would have been, like, it would have been better. Like, if they had just said that at the beginning. But you know why they didn't do that? You know what I believe? Is because if they had done that, it would have encouraged less people to buy the toys because they wouldn't be taking advantage as much of good people's faith. Or people's good faith, sorry, I fucking confused myself then. I think they intentionally misled people to allow them to buy the toys. And the funny thing about it is that they probably would have made more money if they just put in the $1 million, because now they can never do another crowdfunded event again because people are going to be super skeptical of it and nobody's going to buy them. They were keeping 75% of the money, and now the next time they do this, which is probably going to be never, they're keeping 0% of the money. It was such a stupid decision for them to do that. I know people still buy, a lot less people will buy, and people will actively discourage other people from buying. Short gains, that's all they care about. Hey.
Coming in at number 4, we have the Battle for Azeroth expansion. The final patch,
just like the whole thing,
is finally out. We can
not
call
like
the
all one part. No, just the whole thing.
It's 2017. The Legion expansion is coasting along, doing fairly well in fact. A smooth recovery from that expansion, and players are comparatively having a good time. BlizzCon rolls around,
Legion's pretty
and as
good.
expected, we get a preview of the new expansion, the Battle for Azeroth. Wow. Now that Sargeras has been dealt with and his Burning Crusade over, the Horde and Alliance are at each other's throats, and the major features of the expansion will follow this theme. Engage in epic scenarios against the opposite faction, called Warfronts, in a game mode reminiscent of the old strategy games. It's all out war,
so hyped about
largely
this, dude.
over a new resource called Artifazerite.
An ally has been
I like how they just call it
Obtainable
artifact
from
power
another
too.
major system
In like
called Island
interviews.
Expeditions, where you team up with 2 allies and 3 vs 3 supermarket sweep for as much Azerite as you can carry.
It is a
Players collect the
supermarket
special
sweep.
resource to power up. Special armor pieces known as Azerite armor.
I like Azerite armor. I think
The
it's cool.
developers went on to explain that we are to receive 3 different pieces of this armor, all layered with different tiers of special affixes.
I know some people disagree with me. I like it.
The more Azerite you collect, the more powers you unlock, creating layers of customization to make sure that not one player has the same experience.
I think the idea that you continue to
When the day came, players eagerly awaited to sink their teeth into this new, revolutionary, and it's just a bunch of passives. Increase your mastery, versatility. There's an X chance to increase Y stat.
Yeah, some of the tier 3 stats are bad, but I think that Azerite armor improved a lot over the expansion. And some of the Azerite traits do change the way that you play the game. And while I don't have a I don't like Azerite. Do I like it more than tier gear? No. No, I do not like it more than tier gear. I would rather have tier gear than Azerite gear. That being said, I like the customization that Azerite armor gives you, but the way that it was implemented was bad and not player friendly.
You might find a power that makes you think twice about using a talent that you'd previously written off. And you will certainly find combinations that reinforce your favorite way to play your character.
Nearly every single one of these absences would be boiled down to a simple DPS, healing,
I like this
or
song.
mitigation increase, and didn't change
This is
anything
fucking
really.
jam.
What was promised to be a new and fresh way to customize your character ended up falling victim to the same problem the game has faced since its birth in 2004. There's no real choice because there will always be a best. We had slight differences for
That's true, but like I don't think there's any system that Blizzard can ever do that's gonna fix that. Like there's always gonna be a best no matter what. Like corruption gear, in a lot of ways, kind of isn't like that though. Like I mean, you can hate corruption gear all you want, but there are a lot of people that they want to use infinite stars. There are other people that want to use like stat boosters where it's like 12%. Other people want to use Twilight Devastation for like, you know, a 2-pack or something like that, or Hive Mind. Like the corruptions actually is Blizzard's best shot that they've taken in the last 5 years to muddy the waters and make it harder to sim and just pick out what the best one is. Tupac? Yeah, yeah.
Single target for certain pieces.
Is Tupac still alive?
Between, and
Yeah.
one really altered how you played the game as promised.
He's in
it really
Cuba.
just all boiled down to stay stationary and wait for procs.
Pretty
and
much.
That's the story of the Azurectile dysfunction. As for Warfronts, players were disappointed to learn that there was no PvP mode to be found.
Azurectile
An entire
dysfunction.
expansion based on faction war offered a game mode where you could only face off against NPCs.
That's great.
And with a difficulty setting even easier than raiding in classic World of Warcraft. It's quite common, in fact.
Oh,
to
that
find
must be
players
my alt
just
there.
AFK auto-running into a wall.
Yeah.
It's nearly impossible.
That's all I would do
lose the
too.
game mode. Nearly the whole team would have to be AFK.
I like how whenever they introduced Warfronts, and remember whenever we got a raid together of people and we intentionally lost the Warfront? Before that, there was like, remember back in like fucking 2005, 2006, where people would talk about how to get Ashbringer or something like that, or some rare item in the game, and everybody had like a friend of a friend of a friend who had a story about it happening to them? I feel like that same mystique was built around losing a Warfront. That's how rare it was.
As for island expeditions, these were sacrificed. Players had little depth to only change the environments and enemies, as each instance could be boiled down to a rush to get X Azurite for the other team. The experience was also hampered by the reward system, which was mostly based off of RNG, and an insanely small chance to get a mount, which was the main reason for doing them other than that Azurite.
Yep.
Combining this with the advent of loot caches and Titan forging added even more RNG to an already overladen RNG loot system and left quite a poor taste in people's mouths.
Fucking picture, dude.
Like biting into a chocolate to find a coconut.
They're not that bad. They're not caramel either.
Like they got makeovers in later patches, but all of this would only come nearly 1 year after the expansion's release.
See, like, that's the main thing that I don't want them to do in Shadowlands, because I feel like it's manipulative and intentionally disrespectful to players' time. I think if they want to introduce a system, if they introduce a system without obvious quality of life features, and then choose to withhold those quality of life features until later on, to where enough people cross a threshold to where they feel like it's useful to now introduce a quality of life feature to then re-incentivize people to use the system again, I'm gonna be really upset. Like, that's gonna be one of the only things that might actually get me to just like probably like not really give a fuck about the game, because it's just so I don't know, it's just so like on the nose disrespectful to players' time. Care about now? Yeah, I care about the game.
By this time, many players had already dropped the game, as the expansion's main features fell flat on their face when Blizzard failed to deliver their promises. And as for the dailies, oh boy, the dailies.
Yep.
What? I've talked about this before? Well, don't look at me. I gotta get my daily complaining in. It gives plus 100 depression.
I don't think the dailies are that bad.
There's so much daily and weekly stuff in this expansion.
But the problem, like,
Here's a full
what he's saying now is true. It's not about the stuff. No, listen to what I'm saying. It's not that the 8.3 dailies are too much. It's that all of the dailies in the game that you're simultaneously expected to do are too much. That's the problem, in my opinion. Like, if I only had to do the 8.3 dailies and that was it and nothing else mattered, it would be fine. It's like an hour of time a day. I mean, you guys remember back in Burning Crusade, if you played back then, all the time, like, the first thing that you do whenever you log on is go around and do the Isle of Quel'Danas dailies. And, like, that was kind of fun. So it's not like, Ogre dailies, or whatever. An hour? I do them in an hour. Yeah, probably less than that, actually. So it's not like this is a new thing or anything like that. It's the fact that the responsibilities and things that you need to keep up with in BFA compounded on each other. And now, I remember I would have, like, whenever I was on break on streaming, I would probably spend, like, I've literally got a list right there. I'll show you guys. Like, why don't I just show you guys? Just a second. That's a list of things that I needed to do every day. Najjatar and Horde, Mechagon, Arachnoid Harvester, Garrison Garden, Blacksmith Daily Crest, Coupon, Direhorn, Seething Shore, Battle for Nazjatar, and then the crates as well. So I literally made myself a list of all the things that I needed to do each day, and I didn't even put like 50, 70% of the things on that list. And I did even more than that. Like I would spend like fucking 5 hours a day doing WoW chores. It was disturbing.
List, in fact. We have daily world quests on southern zones, daily emissary, daily quests in Mechagon, daily quests in Nazjatar.
Oh, here we go.
Daily quests in the 2 assault
See,
zones.
none of those were on the list.
Daily mini vision, your daily mission table missions, your daily warfront contribution quests.
Yep.
And if you control the warfronts, daily quests in 2 more zones. Daily faction incursions.
Yep.
And as for weekly, we have the island expedition bar, world bosses in 5 zones.
Yep.
Base BFA, 2 warfront bosses, Nazjatar and South Assault. We have 2 warfront scenarios on 2 difficulties.
Yep.
We have the latest raid on 4 difficulties.
Yep.
Weekly greater assault bar, your weekly call to arms quests, your weekly PvP chest,
Yes.
your weekly mythic plus chest,
Yep.
your weekly adventure guide quest.
Yep.
Ooh, this weekly is to complete
20.
dailies. Nice. You also have your weekly against overwhelming odds quest if you're outnumbered. And finally, you have your weekly vision loot at multiple tiers.
Okay. That's only for an average player. For a loser like me, there's tons of other things that you have to do too, right? To get like all the completionism content as well. That's what's so crazy about it, is that you talk about like, this is what an average player does. I need to do this times 5. It's crazy.
The only thing that's missing are daily quests to complete dailies. Oh wait, those are emissaries.
Oh
There's so
my
many
god,
daily
I never even
weekly
thought
quests
about it like
during the
that.
game. It'll
Wow.
make your head spin. Nearly everything is tied to some sort of daily or weekly lockout. It starts to become a
Jesus.
chore to do.
I
It's
mean,
an excuse
wow.
to get you to log in every day to feed into engagement metrics rather than from a
Yep,
place of
that's
fun.
what I was saying
due to
earlier.
failure of the previously mentioned features. The Battle for Azeroth is a lukewarm expansion at best, which tries desperately to maintain a player base with 400 forms of daily and weekly busy work to make up for its
Only
shortcomings,
400.
and it didn't
Nice.
live up to the standards and expectations set by Legion for many players.
Accurate.
RPG gaming, role-playing game, character
What's
development, progression.
Huh?
These terms are synonymous with the genre. Even
Not
before
anymore.
the advent of video games, like role-playing
The only thing
and
that's
Dungeons and
synonymous
Dragons,
with the genre now
they've been a
is
core staple of every single RPG in history.
Sorry,
You create your own character, your own story, and for a lot of time and effort, you put them in power, skill, or knowledge. Learning to master sword in Legend of Zelda, learning high-level spells in Final Fantasy, or gaining another skill point in RuneScape. Character leveling and progression is paramount to any RPG in existence. MMOs included, forsake it.
I used to
forsake
love
the
that
genre
game,
as a
man.
whole.
Dylan stole it. He stole my game. I don't know where it is anymore.
Enemy double kill.
I'll have to text him. See what he
Enter the level boost.
Oh no.
It's 2014. The Mists of Pandaria expansion is out, and the game has been bleeding subscribers for the better part of 4 years.
God.
And Blizzard needs a way to recover financially. They had many avenues.
What a disaster
The return
that
to its
was.
RPG roots, as proven with the classic re-release, there's some
Yeah.
value in this approach. They could reverse the destruction of the loot system.
No,
maybe try
no,
to implement
no.
ways to make it more
Come
community-driven. Or
Come
maybe all
on.
of the above. Well, the answer is none of the above.
There you go.
The answer was to forsake everything sacred to the RPG genre,
Because money
and that's
above
to
all.
buy progression.
Destroyed an inhibitor.
Throughout its lifespan, and with the ever-growing focus on the cash shop with services like race transfer, faction transfer, or cosmetics,
Faction.
Blizzard promised
Like the race change, I don't care about. The level boost. In my opinion, I think that the faction change is more harmful and detrimental to the game than the level boost. I genuinely think that the outcome and the culture that the faction transfer created is, why do I think that? Oh, okay. And I'm only speaking from like a max level semi-hardcore perspective. The problem is because players are expected to kind of move factions, and if one faction is slightly balanced more powerfully than the other one, because the option to change is so easy, it immediately hurts the other faction in a massive way. And that's why you see now the Alliance Hall of Fame sometimes doesn't even get filled up for an entire tier. And that affects PvP massively. It affects PvE in an even worse way. And it has like a cascading effect. And that actually affects everyone's gameplay. The level boost effectively only allows the player to cheat themselves out of an experience. But the faction boost creates a culture and a society inside of the game that hurts everyone. That's why I think that it's more harmful. But I don't think either one is particularly good. If I had a wand, I would wave both of them away.
Is that players would never be able to buy an advantage.
Shut down.
Or as harmless as a server transfer. Fast forward to the date of February 18th, 2014. A day that'll live in infamy because it's when Blizzard betrayed the RPG genre and began selling character progression called the character boost. Players would be able to pay Blizzard some money in exchange to boost any character to a desired level.
Yep.
Cash shops are the big ticket these days.
They sure are.
Free-to-play games roll in the dough. Mobile games, whose sole purpose is to drain your bank account, can make more than AAA releases. It's actually mind-blowing that World of Warcraft has the payment model of both. You have to pay a subscription, and it has an in-game shop with...
No, what do you mean you have to pay a subscription? You also have to buy the fucking game.
An enemy is dominating.
It's buy to play, pay to play, with paid microtransactions.
Mounts, character services, level boosts, gold buying, you name it. The paid level boost serves no purpose in an RPG setting other
Absolutely
than
not.
Money. And it acknowledges that you failed in creating a leveling experience. It's fun and
You make so much money
that
off
players
this.
would pay money to skip an important aspect in your game.
Christ.
Do you ever use Game Shark or Game Genie in your RPG game back in the day?
I did, yeah.
You level up to the max, you gain invincibility, every spell.
And then you quit the game. It's boring.
Well, it's fun for about 10 seconds because you realized you've earned nothing. There's nothing left to do but to bully every enemy in the game.
Yeah.
Because you skip past the main point of any RPG, and that's character progression and rich storyline. Imagine buying level boosts in Final Fantasy VII at the start of the game and skipping to disc 3.
Yep.
But is that I hear you say? It's a bad comparison because one is single player and the other is multiplayer. Well, I agree. It's even worse because in a multiplayer scene,
there it
there's
is.
an inherent competitiveness tied to everything. In one way or another, you're competing against everyone else. No longer is it a goal to finish a story and get a credit screen, but rather to get the best gear and be better than everyone else. And when you start introducing ways to pay to get ahead of other players, you lose a big part of what makes MMOs special. Add on to that the ability to buy gold and thus gear and many other things.
I feel like the problem, like that's the issue now, is that like, do you think we can ever really have the integrity of BOE items in a game again now that we have the WoW token? Because like, I like the idea of being able to farm gold and buy BOEs because it gives casual players a way to gain raid progression progress. But the issue now is that because you can just buy them, it muddies the water so much, and buying tokens is such a common and accessible thing. It's gonzo. Yeah, I mean, like, I wish maybe it would be better if Blizzard made it to where you could only buy like one a week. If you could only buy one a week, I would be a lot more okay with it. And like, actually, yeah, only a week, yeah, one a week I think is reasonable. One a month. Listen, like, if you guys want to say one a month, okay, that's great. But at least, like, one a week would be fine with me, and just see how it happens, or see how it changes the economy. Because, I don't know, I feel like there's so much potential that you could have in the economy that you just lose out on whenever you take the integrity out of it. And I think that's what the WoW token really did, and that's why it was such a problem whenever they had the corruption gear, is because the integrity was completely broken with the game. And a game's integrity is ultimately what makes a game matter. It's like whenever you play a fucking BR, like, how many BR games has there been where a month after release, whenever you die, there's always a thought in your back of your mind, I wonder if that person was cheating. And whenever you have that thought in the back of your mind, that replaces the thought of how can I get better at the game? And it's an awful scenario to be in. And I think that WoW kind of has created it for themselves. Call of Duty Warzone? Well, yeah, it's happening in Warzone a lot now. It happened in every game.
Much too the MMORPG genre.
Integrity of the game is the only thing that really matters.
Solely for the sake of money. They add nothing to the game.
If it doesn't have integrity,
vital, important
then the accomplishments mean nothing.
Influence of the $90.
Yep.
At number 3 on our list, we have when Blizzard forsook
it killed PUBG, and sure fucking did.
Allowing players to pay for progression. MMOs live and die on content updates. It's a big elephant in the room with Classic. Although successful right now, the big question is after the final raid tier, Extremis releases, what then? New raids,
BC,
Burning Crusade, or nothing?
Yeah, let's see BC.
Even if
I'm
there's
ready.
no credit screen in any game, for most players, there's a foreseeable end where they consider it to be completed.
Yeah,
Maybe they achieve a certain rank in PvP, they finish a gear set in PvE, and the only thing left to do is to move on to the next thing. For MMOs, and of course referencing expansions here, the drop between the final major patch and the next big thing is critical. Just taking a look at the game's history here, between the final patch of Vanilla in 1.12 and the Burning Crusade release, we have less than 5 months. This is a special case because we're going from a huge base game with 60 levels. Wrath was a little slower. The final major Burning Crusade patch was 2.4.
And nobody gave a fuck about this. Do you guys remember this? Like, if you played at the end of BC, like, nobody cared, really, except for, like, Sunwell guilds and, like, some BT guilds that were stuck on Brutalis or something. They couldn't figure out how to do Sunwell. Nobody cared because the majority of the player base wasn't at that fucking god. So it didn't matter how long the content drought was if the players never finished the content in the first place. I want TBC to last longer? Yeah, like we cleared Sunwell, but we got up to Thelmus. I think we killed Thelmus before 3.0 came out, and then obviously we just like fucking rolled it over whenever 3.0 came out. And I think they cussed it when they got it. I have got Patina. But before that, like, we had wanted to be able to finish the raid. And after nerf, no, we killed the palace pre-nerf. I even have fucking screenshots. It was the first time I ever raided with my guild. It's a big deal to me. But besides that, like, even us, like, as a more hardcore guild, we'd raid like 4 or 5 days a week. And even we had more things to do in BC. That's the beauty of progressive raid content and progressive content, is that a new player coming into the expansion a year after it comes out has a year's worth of content. And now Blizzard just rolls that over every fucking patch. It's like they're deleting their own content.
2008.
I am
And the
triggered.
release was of course November of the same year, so less than 8 months this time. Okay, a little long, players thought,
Yeah.
but workable. Especially considering how good the Burning Crusade was. Players didn't really mind that much.
Yep.
Maybe they had a hiccup in development, and surely they'll have mastered the process for the next one. Between the final patch of Wrath and the release of Cataclysm, players had to wait a whole year.
No. What do you mean is a year? It's 300. A year is 365 days, man. I hate this fake news, dude. Mad Season's just trying to push an agenda here. This is not a whole year. What do you mean? That's not a whole year? That's less than a year. I remember I made this joke about how you could literally have a kid and be doing ICC, like get a girl pregnant and be doing ICC, and have the kid and also still be doing ICC. And Zach, like a Mikkel Reevy, he reminded me, we have a mutual friend, Hayden. Hayden did. Hayden literally had a kid, got hooked up with his girlfriend, had a fucking kid. He was doing ICC whenever they were dating, and he was doing ICC whenever they were fucking having a kid, dude. It was the funniest shit ever.
Well, it is on such a grand scale. I mean, not only are we getting new zones, but all of the old zones are being reworked. and many of
Cataclysm
the
had a lot
current
of
systems
potential.
are also being changed as well. It's a big expansion with big ambitions, so surely the next one will be
Weapon
better.
skill wasn't that great.
Okay, 10 months for pandas.
Well, we had Diablo 3
Okay,
come
I
out
don't know
then,
what
so
that's
it was
about,
more okay.
but little did players know, they haven't seen anything yet.
Literal Wrath, baby,
Or,
yeah.
well, maybe I guess they actually were used to seeing nothing at this point, maybe.
Yeah.
Just tapping their foot, taking in the wonders of furry Disneyland, waiting for the next big thing.
16. Was it? Oh, never mind. It was only
They would
14.
wait 14 months this time for...
With me!
Draenor.
With me! And I had no problem waiting. By the way, I had absolutely no problem waiting. Warlords of Draenor, like, I thought it was going to be great. Siege of Orgrimmar was pretty good, and the end of, like, Mop got really boring, yeah. But it got boring a lot slower.
And after the final major patch of Draenor, 14 months for Legion. Although some may argue that Legion was at least worth the wait.
It was.
This was the 1-2 death punch that knocked out a large amount of the subscriber base, as the game was as stagnant as my sex life, and players were disappointed to learn that a long wait does not equate to a good expansion.
Yep. Oh, God.
Disappointment, sadness, or displeasure caused by the non-fulfillment of one's hopes or expectations. It's 2014.
Oh, God.
Players have suffered through 14 months of drought since the final patch for the Mists of Pandaria expansion, the longest
Literal
yet at this
shit in a
point.
bucket.
What a great expansion this must be. It
Yep.
looks awesome.
I thought it was
We're
gonna
going
be.
back to Outland. Well, Draenor this time actually.
I thought it was
going to
be the Hong Kong thing,
changed to
actually.
what we saw in the Burning Crusade. Ah, the Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
Thought by many to be the prime of the game. It had all of the conventions from Classic, except there was some semblance of class balance. Memorable raids, PvP. Okay, that was a pretty good 2-year prank they pulled with us on the Mists of Pandaria expansion, right
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
A good old out-of-season April Fool's joke.
He's like,
But it's nice to finally get back to our roots. People were hyped. Don't believe me? Well, the
Must have been a
subscriptions don't
Nintendo
lie.
64.
Because at this point, the game had the biggest surge in subscribers, the highest it's been ever since it started.
Everybody thought it was
going
gonna
to
be amazing.
Cataclysm expansion, almost to Wrath levels, in fact.
Yeah.
Just the atmosphere at the time was something you had to witness.
It was
It was
fucking
announced
awesome.
at BlizzCon 2013, and people were ready.
I remember waking up and I watched the cinematic with my mom.
Listen to them. Yay, garrisons. Those sound awesome. You have your own
So
mining
good.
nodes, so you don't have to compete with other players.
Hmm.
You have your own herb garden, so you don't have to compete with other players. You can make your own profession buildings, so you don't have to interact with other players.
Mhm.
And you can run mobile gaming missions, and even recruit your own followers so that you can pretend that you have friends. After 2
I didn't really dislike the follower system. I just disliked that they made you do it. Like the the BFA follower system, I think is great. It's completely optional. There's no real impact that it has in the game, but it's something optional that players can do if they want, and that's completely fine. Like just add in something for people that like being able to micromanage the different units and followers. Like that's cool. I have no problem with that. But in fucking WoD, you had to do it for the legendary.
lukewarm expansions at best, players were ready for a return to their roots.
Yep.
The good old days, some called it. Troubles arose right from launch, however.
Oh, what do we got here?
Just like the old days.
Oh, all the shit that I fucking play on offline again.
Not that this is really on Blizzard, but they came under a distributed denial of service
Yeah.
attack.
So I remember this happened to me, is that I was the first warrior, like one of the first warriors on the server, and like I was in like I think the top 10 people to like hit 100 on my server, and I log off and I log back on, and there was a fucking 20 like fucking hour queue. There's a 20-hour. Oh, it's a cap? You want a real cap for that? That was the worst I'd done in multiple expansions. The past 3 expansions, my group has been realm first. So, I mean, you can just go literally watch the VODs or look it up. Like, we've been round first every fucking time. So, being number 10 was actually a downgrade to me.
Commonly referred to as a DDoS. The act of flooding a service with so much artificial traffic, and that the servers get overloaded with lag, and they crash, and lag, and crash.
Dude, like the loading screen, or sorry, the login screen was awesome.
Oh,
for WAD.
shit.
I liked it a lot.
Really?
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 The launch was the worst in the game's 10-year history at that point, and it took several days until things finally stabilized. Once players got in, however, what awaited them was a lackluster expansion at best.
Yeah.
The garrison system just isolated the player base from each other. You had few reasons to leave it, and the world was just empty.
There's nothing to do.
A problem that arose from the garrisons themselves, and also the massive hemorrhage of subscribers due to the sparse and sluggish release of new content. The entire expansion had only 3 raid tiers throughout its 2-year run. Many features ended up being scrapped due to time constraints.
I heard that Heimal was supposed to be its own raid. I talked to somebody who told me that. And the thing is with WAD, like why I really think WAD deserves to be number 1 here, is because of everything that it could have been. Because it's not World of Warcraft's biggest fuck-ups, it's World of Warcraft's biggest disappointments. And the fact is that WAD, Heimal was a raid. Oh, sorry, what I meant by own raid is that it would be its own raid tier. And not like basically Heimal and Blackrock Foundry shared a raid tier, even though almost all of the gear from Blackrock Foundry replaced the Heimal gear. I didn't say that correctly. But the issue with WAD is that it could have been the return to form that we were all looking forward to. And it's a huge disappointment that it didn't happen, because Blizzard had an opportunity to rewrite a lot of the history and make the game amazing.
I won't go over all of it, as it's a bit much, and this video is already like 30 minutes long. Screw it. Major cities were replaced by small footholds outside of the
forgot about
Island.
that, yep.
Cut scenarios, a new arena system was scrapped, pet breeding, which I can't talk about on YouTube, multiple garrison locations throughout Draenor, so you could play with yourself wherever you wanted, abandoned storylines, including an appearance from Medivh, class accessories, a transportation system with a Grimrail depot, since they originally weren't planning on adding flying. That changed once the 5 people still playing threatened to quit. A Zangarmarsh zone, which they cleverly just turned into a sea. In fact,
the Zangar
entire
water
zones were scrapped, along with the whole raid tier. You
Oh,
know that
great.
giant bubble in Talador? That was supposed to open up at some point, but something suddenly came up.
Yeah?
You can find an Easter egg in your garrison graveyard. Here you'll find the burial site of Ray D. Tier. Player housing has always been a huge request, and the common excuse to not bring it to the game is that it would require so much work that they would have to skip an entire raid tier. A funny little reference, but maybe closer to the truth than we think. And consider that all of this was after a 14-month wait. The joyful cheers of glee quickly soured once players saw the expansion for what it was, and as of the game's 15-year run so far, it remains to be the biggest disappointment. It broke records on release, selling 3.3 million copies, but within a few months, subscriptions dropped back down to 7.1. In the second quarter, there were 5.6, which was the lowest since its initial rise in 2005.
Do you remember, like, whenever I made the video? I want to show you guys the video after
They
this.
had stopped releasing how many subscriptions they had in shame, stating that there are, quote, better ways to gauge success.
Yeah, like by microtransactions.
Yeah, you know, the Detroit Lions aren't actually a bad team, you guys.
We just
You know,
don't judge
scores and
success
Super
based
Bowls,
off of
I think
wins.
we're just so archaic in determining what makes a good team.
Yeah.
There are better ways of measuring success. I mean, come on.
0
From
and
now
16.
on, the best team in the NFL is the one who sells the most jerseys. And as for the content that was patched in, well, it sucked. Guys, everybody hates garrisons. They say it feels like a single game. They can't stand it. What do? Ooh, I know. How about another garrison system? Brilliant.
Oh my god, I forgot all about the
That
shipyard.
financially, it was hugely
Oh
successful.
my god.
The level boost was introduced in late Pandaria,
Wow,
so Draenor
I
was the
forgot
first
all about
expansion
the
where it really
shipyard.
rolled for the full duration. I'll bet you BFA was also a huge financial success due to the same thing, And also that wombo combo of allied races, and paid race changes they have going on.
How
It's a
convenient.
shame. People used to go to these conventions with huge expectations.
Yeah.
Blizzard as a company was one of the few bastions left in gaming that seemed to put their fans first.
You guys take care of us, man. You guys really take care of us, man.
They ran on credit. They could seriously make a game about a walking turd, and people would have bought it. What was once a company held in the highest regards by some of the most passionate and loyal fans in existence is now met with pessimism and low standards by the very same people.
Alright, Mad Season, like, let's be real. People thought the game sucked in 2005, too. I mean, everybody always thought the game sucked. Like, you can find people that say the same thing nowadays about, what do you call it? About the current game. Like, WoW has always been dying since before it even came out. WoW is dead before it even released, okay? But the difference is that they weren't wrong. Like, or sorry, they were wrong then. The game was good. That's why people continued to keep playing it. But now, they're not wrong. It's like if you go and you tell somebody else their game sucks, like go tell a Final Fantasy XIV player their game sucks, and they're gonna try to like eat your ears or like bite your ears off or something like that. You go tell somebody about Overwatch being shitty or something like that, and they'll accuse you of being racist. If you tell somebody that whatever your fucking game is, you know, Counter-Strike sucks, they'll just say it's just because you have bad aim. But if you tell somebody that plays WoW that their game sucks, they'll agree with you. That's the difference.
It's almost too much to keep up with.
Yep.
In the making of this video, the whole Warcraft 3 Reforged fiasco started up, and people are pissed they paid $30 for what's basically a texture mod with updated DRM. Hey, at least all of the bugs are new.
Big miss chance on these Dragonhawks and a disconnect.
A disconnect.
I'm gonna assume Tholzane dropped, but I feel like Moon was on the way to holding this attack.
Uh-oh. Wow.
You're benched. What's this? And looks like another drop just happens. Oh, wow.
And that's with delays in development, by the way.
Oh, wow.
You know, they just wanted to put on that good old Blizzard polish. As time goes on, the benchmark for disappointment seems to be becoming lower and lower, as controversy after controversy transpire in one of the biggest rise and falls in gaming history. It's a sad tale, but maybe this is just a low in the company's history before a soaring high. Or maybe we're just setting ourselves up for disappointment.
I don't know. I mean, like, here's the thing, is that it's like every company nowadays is a fucking disappointment. Like Bethesda, you know, like every company sucks somehow. The only companies that are good are companies that make one game. If you make one game, or actually, or maybe CD Projekt Red. Okay, that's a good counter. But besides that, I feel like if you make more than one game, you're gonna have some problems. Rockstar? Well, weren't people really mad about Rockstar working people to death in fucking Red Dead Redemption 2? I remember that being a big thing. And From Software, okay, you know what? Yeah, you guys are coming up with some other exceptions. I guess, yeah, you know, maybe I am wrong about that. But I feel like Blizzard can bring it back. Like, they can bring it back whenever they want. Yeah, they can bring it back whenever they want. Just start making good games again. It's easy. Just make good games and everybody will be happy. Just make the games, people like them, respect the players, boom, it's done. Problem solved. Game is happy. Players are happy. I want to show you guys. So I remember whenever this fucking drop for WoD happened. Where is it? Shit, yeah, this one right here. I don't know if you guys watched me back then. Asmongold, WoW, sub numbers, WoD.
What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're going to talk about the fact that in the first quarter of 2015, World of Warcraft has lost 2.9 million subscribers. And so just to put that into perspective for everyone here, that means that in a 3-month period, they've lost over 1/4 of their entire subscriber population. And you know the only real question I have to ask here is Is anyone really surprised? Is anyone really surprised whenever people decide that they're not going to pay money to play Farmville anymore? Is anyone really surprised when people get tired of running the same treadmill on 4 different difficulties? Is anyone really surprised that people get burnt out of an MMO that you don't even need to interact with another player in order to kill the last boss of the game? It is honestly is a huge disappointment to me. It's a huge disappointment to a lot of other people. Like, if you go to Twitch TV, look guys, if you want a comparison here, RuneScape has more viewers than World of Warcraft, okay? I don't really think that I need to say anything more in this video, but it's going to be a little bit longer. That's just... I was pissed. I was fucking pissed. And the fact is, whenever I wasn't streaming, that happened. Like, we would literally see times where, like random fucking games. Like, let me see. We'll see if I can find it here. So, WoW has 97k viewers, and, like, let's subtract, how many do I have? Like, let's say 50,000, right? And so 47k. Like, we'd be getting beat by Animal Crossing. Like, we'd be losing to Animal Crossing. We would lose to this Teamfight Tactics. We'd lose to fucking poker. That it's embarrassing, guys. It really is. And there would be times where, like, like Smite would be ahead of WoW randomly. Like, let's say Mizkif played Smite or something like that, and beating WoW, beating World of Warcraft, Encore, GeoGuessr, you know, something like that. FIFA, yeah, FIFA, and Castro is offline, and FIFA's still on. FIFA's still beating WoW. Like, I saw that, I had to take a nap.
Turret plating will fall soon.
World of Warcraft will be dead in 5 years. Here's why. All right, let's find out. 5 years, more like 2. Yeah, true, man. This shit is done. Oh, it's over.
They're doing wrong is just simply not adapting to the audience. During WoW's lifetime, as different genres have become more popular, Blizzard have not implemented these popular genres into their own game.
I agree with that. I actually think that they should have a, like Fortnite and WoW. That would be really cool.
It's just like a little essence of these popular genres. Instead, we've got new features like pet battles, scenarios, island expeditions.
I don't know. I feel like the pet battles, scenarios, and island expeditions, islands were only bad because you had to do them. The other two, people generally like them, or they don't participate in them.
Alright guys, today I'm going to talk about why I think World of Warcraft is going to be dead in 5 years. Now, this isn't clickbait or anything. People have actually been saying...
This isn't clickbait or anything. Alright, let's find out why.
World of Warcraft has already been dead for years. So we're going to be analyzing...
I love how any screenshot that anyone has of a YouTube thing of like WoW is dead, there's every single one of them has a clip of one of my streams. WoW is dead again, LOL, lowest ever, me smiling, it's Belluar.
For years now. So we're going to be analysing why do people say that? And why can we all agree that World of Warcraft definitely isn't the absolute titan of the gaming industry anymore?
I mean, if you put World of Warcraft and Warcraft Classic together, you have 1.1 and then 5, basically. You would obviously have 1.6, which would put it ahead of Final Fantasy. It would be number 1. So, like, I don't know. I mean, that's one thing I would say. Also, like, any of these websites, by the way, are completely inaccurate. Like, there's no way that they obtained this data that has any sort of, like, legitimacy to it whatsoever. Yeah, all of these informational websites are just complete garbage.
One of the really big things is World of Warcraft has simply not adapted to the audience. When I say the audience, I mean the population of the planet who spend their free time playing video games.
Okay.
Their tastes have changed, and WoW is not adapted to that change in taste.
I think it has. I think that WoW has adapted a lot, and I think examples of WoW adapting is things like, you know, them adding Group Finder, Dungeon Finder, War Mode, like giving people other ways like Mythic Plus, like having different rating sizes. Yeah, it's adapted a lot.
To best understand why WoW isn't the titan of the industry anymore, we have to analyze the actual why.
Okay, so we have 2015, where it's right here, and then 2016, and do you want to know why there's an asterisk next to every single one of these? Is because the person who made this graph, there's literally, like, you're gonna make an argument that it didn't even go up at all for Shadowlands, or sorry, for BFA? Absolutely not. It didn't even go up at all for Shadowlands? Absolutely not. Yeah, this is all an abstract because it's an extrapolation of data. It's crazy how people. I really think they need to start teaching, instead of Algebra 2, they need to start teaching statistics. Please start teaching statistics in school.
WoW isn't the titan of the industry anymore. We have to analyze the actual titans of the industry, and I think that boils down to 3 different online game genres. The MOBA, the Battle Royale, and kind of the survival game. So MOBA...
I would agree with that, but I also think that there's like a massive genre of games that are just phone games. Like, phone games are bigger than all of these. Like things like Clash of Clans, stuff like that, auto battlers. These are huge, and you just don't see them at all. And I think this is kind of the point that I'm making, is that, like, you're not seeing those because you're only thinking about this contextualized around, like, PC gaming.
There's going to be stuff like League of Legends and Dota, Battle Royale, Fortnite and Apex Legends, and then survival games like Minecraft and Valheim.
Yeah.
And there's also some objective-based shooters in there like CSGO, Valorant, and Call of Duty. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the...
CSGO, Valorant, I mean, like, I think shooters... Really, Valorant is the... I think Valorant did cannibalize a lot of the CSGO audience, and I do think that new people coming into the scene, like, if you're 13 now, are you going to start playing CSGO, or are you going to start playing Valorant? I think that most 13-year-olds are going to decide to play Valorant. Now, I have no data on this. I don't know this, but I'm just guessing.
Channel, you get loads of subscriber-only content. Just go to my channel page where you can check that out. Now, these genres are definitely the new titans. WoW is no longer a game with 30 million people playing it like it was at the peak of Wrath of the Lich King, because these other games have adapted to the changing interests and tastes of the audience of...
Slovensko, I am assuming this is probably some country in Europe. This is probably not worldwide, is it? Slovenia? Yeah, it's not worldwide. Yeah, so was World of Warcraft even available in Slovenia whenever it came out? I have no idea. It would make sense that it was extremely low because it probably wasn't available in that country, or it wasn't very popular in that country. And I would assume that people like it. It could also be a technological thing over there too. But like I'm just saying, like, using a graph like this and then saying like, oh, well, because it was low in this one country, like, this is not a very good argument.
The player, the consumer, whatever you want to call it.
Should have done worldwide.
MMO is very weirdly more of a niche now, despite its very selling, which is being inside a huge online living world with other people in the front.
This is nuts, bro.
That's the thing that MMOs have that other games don't have.
It's so cool.
Now, the problem with MMOs is they require a huge budget and a lot of graft to make in the first place. and to keep new content being released for that game. When you
Oh yeah, let me go back and look at this again. MMORPG touched 63 million to develop. We include the cost of its development and marketing. It adds up to over 200 million. Seems like a lot. World of Warcraft, now one of the most profitable games in the world, grossing over 9 billion. Yeah, I mean, of course, WoW makes a lot of money. That's a lot of WoW tokens.
And to keep new content being released for that game.
Yeah, of course.
When new MMOs are released on the most part, they just don't have enough stuff to do to keep players playing the game. They always feel like they've released early without enough content. Near enough every single MMO release has felt like this.
Shit, thanks.
What
Thank you
jumps to
very much.
mind is Star Wars Republic and New World.
I think New World has improved on this a lot, and nowadays I think New World is doing a much better job retaining players. You can see this if you just look it up on Steam charts. Let's see here, New World, there it is, charts as well. Like, this is a massively successful round. Like, I would consider this a W. Absolutely. And it's retained a lot of these players. Obviously, this is whenever the big event happens. And even now, with Dragonflight out, etc., it is at a higher player base now than it has been since, I guess, February of last year. So it's been tremendously improved. And I think that also, like, other games like Lost Ark, for example, let me see if I can pull it up right here. Lost Ark has dozens of people, I'm sure, that are dozens of real people, I'm sure, that are playing the game. I mean, I would argue that there probably could even be hundreds. Yeah, I think that it's quite possible that there could be hundreds of people playing Lost Ark right now. That's incredible. Wow. Realistically, I assume that number is probably somewhere around 100 to 150K. I would not be surprised if 2/3 of the population of Lost Ark right now are bots.
And this is the MMO's weakness. It requires new content, a lot of new content, a lot of manpower, and obviously woman power.
Obviously. Well, anyway, that's not really true. You see, like, you have fresh servers that come out all the time, and that's new content. I think a great example of this, again, is New World. So if you look at the New World draft right here, whenever the content actually came out was, like, right about here. It was, I think, right here in September or, like, something like this. And the content didn't really come out. People didn't really come back to the game until they did, like, the big Return to Eternum event. And then it got a lot of people coming back playing the fresh servers, which fundamentally are not new content. They're just fresh servers. And that's what retained even more people than the new content did. It's dying again? Well, that's the way every game goes. Like, every single game, it doesn't matter if it's Final Fantasy, Fortnite, or anything. Every game is like this. It's like this. And like, every single time, this is new content. This is new content. And this is the release. Yeah, that's the way it works every time. Every game works this way.
Regularly, to keep players playing, and it costs a lot of money and development time. This, for instance, could be more raid content and more dungeon content releasing every few months, whereas the other titans of the industry have one key element in absolute truckloads, and that's replayability. League of Legends and Valorant, for instance, have
World of Warcraft doesn't have replayability. I would disagree with that. I think that World of Warcraft does have a lot of replayability. Like, for example, people go back and they do... How can you say World of Warcraft doesn't have replayability whenever Classic WoW was the biggest game in the world in 2019? How can you say WoW doesn't have replayability whenever Classic Wrath was more popular on social media than Dragonflight was? Like, it's not true. WoW has a tremendous amount of replayability. People go and they do the same 8 dungeons in WoW and Mythic Plus for 2 years. And I think that is a problem. Yeah, WoW has more replayability than any other game. And I actually would argue that WoW needs more replayability even, because he is partially right. Final Fantasy has better replayability of raids. WoW has better replayability of dungeons. And I would love to see the old raids in WoW have better replayability.
Same replayability, with much less development time required.
And also, I think this has been a massive improvement with all Dragonflight.
People have been playing the same League of Legends map For years, I mean, granted it has changed a little bit, but more or less it is the same. In order for a MOBA to maintain replayability, they need to release new champions, revamp old champions, and change elements of the game from time to time. This is much less effort required than making an entire new raid every few months or a new dungeon. Because doing the same PvE raid for 6 months on end just simply isn't fun, and it gets boring. It's why people quit retail World of Warcraft. It's why there was a huge nosedive of players after Shadowlands. And let's be honest, pretty much every single expansion.
This is like totally I don't know where this graph is coming from or anything like this. This is the dumbest graph I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, all of the numbers, because like these are all subscriber numbers, you know what I mean? Because like remember how it had Draenor and then went down by like 2.9 million. So like this is very clearly like these numbers are subscribers. To say that like Burning Crusade Classic only had like 800,000 people subscribed to the game, like how do you judge this? Like these are literally just people that invented numbers. And also like how are these numbers here not automatically, like if how do you have a graph like this and at the same time you also have a graph, where's the other one where he showed like each yearly fuck, let me see if I can find it. Damn, I don't know where it is because I'd have to click through the whole video. But you saw how he had the graph with like the massive downward slope. So how can you have two graphs that are showing the subscriber behavior in World of Warcraft and the graphs are conflicting? It's because they're both wrong. The best case scenario, one of them is right. Worst case scenario, both of them are wrong. This graph is so inaccurate that Microsoft already brought it. Yeah, it's so inaccurate. Blizzard already put it in the game. There you go. It just doesn't make sense.
For Dragonfly, every MMO has the same problem, a huge nosedive in the player base after launch, and that's an issue if you want to maintain a solid player base.
PoE's not an MMO, but yeah, but this is the same, what this guy is saying, this is not an MMO problem, this is a problem with every single game. Every single game that's not a competitive PvP game has this exact problem, and I bet Fortnite has this problem too, because a lot of these games probably don't share their updates. Like if you look at Elden Ring, for example. Like even Elden Ring, most popular game, won Game of the Year. Yes, obviously it's going up now, but like look, it went down. Like every game does this. You can only look at Steam charts and like use them as useful data if you understand how to interpret the data.
Long term, the other titles of the industry do optimize the playability of their games and do adapt in order to be popular.
I will agree with this part. I think Fortnite is probably the best example of a game that has adapted and changed over the years and gotten better and retained an audience. Fortnite is an amazing fucking game, and I think it's super fun. I've played a lot of Fortnite over the years.
Adding new features to keep players entertained.
But I think this is also an issue if you want to talk about like other BRs. Apex Legends had this problem for a while. Apparently now they're doing a better job of it. It's like having the game get stale. Warzone had this problem tremendously. PUBG has had this problem for years. And I'm trying to think, is there another BR that I'm not thinking of that's like super popular? I'm not sure. But yeah, this is a problem with every single game. It has nothing to do with like, it's not a unique thing with MMOs or with WoW.
And this gets us to the underlying problem. MMOs don't have this element of insanely addictive playable content. Well, they kind of do, but we only do 50 minutes before you get bored or feel rating.
I think that if you look at it through the context of raid tiers being boring, let me see what he says about PvP here.
The PvP side of things, I mean, you could argue that there's much more replayability in rated battlegrounds
You could
and
make that
arenas.
argument, yes.
Definitely on the same level of success as PvP games like League, CS:GO, and Call of Duty.
That's totally true. He's totally right about that. Is that World of Warcraft will never have the same level of replayability that CS:GO or Valorant will have in terms of BGs and stuff. The reason why is that the barrier to entry to playing different things in BGs is much higher than the barrier to entry to playing different champions in Valorant. And it's like, if I want to play a new, or not champion, well, champions in Valorant, but I actually meant League of Legends. Like, if you want to use a new gun, if you want to play sniper, you want to play like shotgun in PUBG or something stupid like that, you can immediately go and do that. But in WoW, there's so much prep time that you have to invest into being able to play a new character, then it just takes too long. It's the same as like Overwatch, for example. Like, the reason why Overwatch has a lot of replayability for me, like if I had to level up Roadhog to level 100 in order to play him in ranked and PvP, that would not be fun. I had to like go grind out like random robots and kill random robots out in the world. That would suck. And also, I think that replayability, if you look at replayability in an MMO in the context of current level end-game content, I think that you're only looking at it in a small window. Trixidix, thank you very much for the 20 gifted subs. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Stop trying to act like you know. I know so much better than probably anybody else here because I play these games all day. I make videos about them. That's why people watch my videos, is because I know this better than fucking anybody does. So yes, I'm not gonna go and pretend like I don't know what I'm talking about. I absolutely do. The fact is that a lot of these games, there is a lot of different metrics that people use for replayability. Look at Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy has massive replayability because of the FC system and the Guild Hall system. Is that in-game content? No, it's not, but it's MMO content. And MMO content, the reason why this comparison is wrong is because what he's really doing is he's comparing all of League of Legends to part of World of Warcraft or part of MMOs. Whereas there are different value propositions that every type of game provides. And a lot of the other value propositions that World of Warcraft and MMOs provide do not exist on the same spectrum as CS:GO or League of Legends.
So MMOs and WoW are definitely doing something wrong, otherwise there'd be as much people playing WoW Arena than something like Valorant or even Overwatch. What I think they're doing wrong is just simply not adapting to the audience. During WoW's lifetime, as different genres have become more popular, Blizzard have not implemented these popular genres into their own game.
I actually agree with this to an extent. I think that Blizzard should have made a BR or a Battle Royale version of WoW. I think it could have been added into the game with relatively no friction, and it would have been a universal improvement. How? It's simple. You just have people start new characters. You have people start new characters in one zone, kill different mobs. It's kind of like Warcraft 3, and everybody's their own champion. And then, you know, like the circle gets smaller, and then that's it. And guess what? If it doesn't work, then that's fine. I do think they should have tried it, though.
Even if it's just like the essence of these popular genres. Instead, we've got new features like battles, scenarios.
I mean, new features. I mean, these are things that came out in like 2012. Like, that's whenever Mists of Pandaria came out. I mean, these have been in the game for a long time. And also, they got rid of island expeditions. I mean, scenarios are not in the game anymore. They are, but they're not. They've been kind of... But it's kind of like what they said whenever they had that developer interview and they were talking about how games evolved and like how their systems evolved. That's kind of what happened.
Island expeditions. Torcast, essentially a solo dungeon, the antithesis of one MMO should have. And now with Dragonflight, we have dragon flying.
I don't think that Torghast is bad. I don't like the idea that MMOs, like, Torghast is the antithesis of what an MMO should be. I think that's silly. I really don't like this mindset that a lot of like older MMO players have, that all MMO content needs to be group focused or it shouldn't be in the game. It's like so narrow, and like if you want to talk about not being able to adapt to what users want, and then you're holding on to antiquated ideals for a genre that's been made irrelevant in the state that it used to exist in, it's just not a very good argument.
Yay, Dragonflying is definitely going to make World of Warcraft blow up again and save the MMO genre. Warfronts...
I don't think anybody can say. I do think the Dragon Riding Dragon Riding is an improvement, and it does make the game better. It moves the needle more towards DW and less towards an enemy. Nobody says that.
Used to be a thing. Well, actually quite promising since we had mobile elements, but they didn't do it right. It was such a waste of
It's very true. He's totally right about this. Warfronts could have been amazing. Like, Warfronts got sold to me. The way that I interpreted Warfronts whenever they got announced is this is a Warcraft 3 campaign mission, and you're the hero.
They should have made that a literal competitive PvP mode and just expanded those features that they experimented with. And a lot of these features that they've added with new expansions, they've just dropped. They just haven't carried on these features to full expansions. Apart from
well, they've just changed them. It's like how Blizzard said that the artifact weapon became the Heart of Azeroth and things like that. They just morphed them into different things. And also, like, Dragon Riding is explicitly being added into the game to not be like that.
Plus, because their approach has been to abandon World of Warcraft to jump into such genre bandits. They made a radio available to the store, which actually had 6 million players at a moment in 2018, and now it has of 20,000.
I would be surprised with that.
Why didn't they just implement features of a MOBA into World of Warcraft instead of making their own new game?
Well, they'd have to completely redesign the game. And also the reason why MOBAs are so popular is because they have very few abilities. So you'd have to remove everything that WoW is to make it like a MOBA. Unless you had like a specific version. Also, like, yeah, there were a lot of people that... Like, Fortnite is not trying to be like Final Fantasy XIV. CSGO is not trying to be like Lost Ark. New World is not trying to be like Valorant. Yes, there are games that have like kind of like overall good design principles that you try to like emulate in your own game. Sure, yeah, if you make them abstract enough. But the truth is, like, just taking other popular games and then putting them in your game, this is not always a great idea. I think a good example of this is pet battling. Pet battling is nice. There's a lot of people that like pet battling in WoW. Sparkster, thanks for the 5 subs. I appreciate that. But the truth is that pet battling is really not... It's not that big of a deal. Like, people don't subscribe to WoW to play pet battling, right? In any sort of like a large contingency. I'm sure there are people out there that exist who do that, but it's very small.
You may think that's a bit weird. We'll talk about how style battlegrounds can very easily be implemented into World of Warcraft. But for a second, I want you to imagine, as MOBAs got more popular, that Blizzard added a MOBA-style competitive battleground into World of Warcraft. And then when Battle Royale became more popular, they added a Battle Royale-style battleground.
I would love it. I would love if they had a Battle Royale-style battleground. That would be really cool. I think they should try to do that.
They would have adapted to the audience and created an extremely replayable, fun game mode to keep playing.
I don't think that's true. I mean, there are a lot of cases, like in the same way that like adapted, like Pokemon is super popular, so Blizzard made pet battles, and are pet battles super popular and everybody loves them, and it adapted to the audience and kept World of Warcraft relevant? No, it didn't. Because like, just because you make a version of something in your game doesn't mean that version of it will actually be popular. One of the other big reasons why things like Fortnite and these other games are popular is because they're free and you can play them on tablet and on your phone. So yeah, the answer is, yeah, you should make WoW playable on your consoles or something like that, absolutely. But it's not like anything that Blizzard does to try to get into these other markets is automatically successful. And I think that's shown as to be evident with the previous example that he even used in this video, which was Heroes of the Storm. Blizzard tried to make Heroes of the Storm work to compete with Dota and the League, and it didn't work. So why would you think it would work in WoW? Also, the reason why people play Dota and League, these are free games. You don't have to spend any money to play them. Also, you can probably play Dota or League on a much shittier PC than you can play WoW on.
Is playing the game while they wait for new raid content. and we give players multiple different options of good content to enjoy based on their own taste.
This is
We've
true.
taken a chunk of that MOBA audience and a chunk of that Battle Royale audience. Now, these audiences would never be as big as individual MOBA and Battle Royale games, but I definitely think that WoW would have maintained a larger audience and, more importantly, drawn new audiences and new players to the game. And this gets us on to another one of World of Warcraft's problems. I've met a lot of players over the years.
There are a lot of reasons why new players don't start WoW, and I think that the amount of people that don't start WoW because it doesn't have a BR is very low. I think a BR would improve the game, but a BR for WoW would have to be like ridiculously fucking good in order for it to compete with a free game with no barrier. Even if it was the exact same as Fortnite, it was as good as Fortnite, people would still play Fortnite because it's easier to play.
None of them.
BR is a battle royale.
Most of them are in their late 20s, early 30s, so it's only a matter of time before this audience becomes a person who suddenly can't play video games as much because they have children on top of having a full-time job. I'm not saying everyone's going to have kids, but the point is the WoW audience is going to shrink. So who's going to be left playing World of Warcraft in 5 years if there's barely any young blood jumping on the scene? In 10 years, the audience will shrink even more. Now, I'm not saying there aren't new players and young players coming to WoW. You know, you do come across them from time to time. I have once actually come across a classic WoW player who was in their early 20s.
Bro, he acts like it's like, yeah, there's this one time there was this guy, and it was crazy because they weren't 38 years old playing classic WoW. Yeah, it happens. A lot of people that come back and play WoW. I actually think that for Classic WoW probably had more people that came into the game for the first time than any other expansion did. I think Classic WoW brought in so many new players. And I don't know how many people, like I heard, like, yeah, I started playing Classic WoW, and these are guys that are like 21 or 24, right? It's just like, that's the way it goes. There's going to be somebody who's 24 in 5 years. And then they can try and play the game. So I got to get this good, right?
The fight never ends.
Blue team's inhibitor has respawned. Red team's inhibitor has respawned. Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Blue team's inhibitor has respawned. Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I
Red
have
team's
to
turret has been
fucking go
destroyed.
downstairs. No, streamer, it's time for chat to take over. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Wash your hands? No, why would I wash my hands, dude? I got a clean dick. Why would I do that? Never wash your fucking hands.
But this, it is incredibly rare. And mentally, younger people on the large part are very different. They've grown up...
And he's right to an extent about this. That, like, WoW definitely does have a problem of an aging audience. And what happens whenever something starts aging? It starts dying. Absolutely. I think that WoW should do more to retain new players, too. I think Dragonflight, they do some things to do that. But yeah, it's a huge problem. And that's one of the reasons why I thought Classic Plus would be a good idea. Because if they did that, there would be a fresh slate to have people get invested in the game again.
Different advancements of technology which inevitably changes their taste of video game. Because let's be honest, iPads are now bringing up children, not people.
True.
And I really can't imagine a 15-year-old these days sitting and leveling a character in vanilla World of Warcraft without getting bored and checking their phone.
That's probably true. Yeah, I think that for most cases that's true. It's probably more true now than it used to be. But yes, it is reductive.
Little WoW is an extreme example, but my point is the MMO sometimes has a long and boring process required to fully unlock the game's content, which I simply...
Well, I wonder what he thinks about Dragonflight. I don't know if he played Dragonflight yet, but like the Dragonflight quest line to get to max level is extremely good. It's one of the best variations of leveling they've ever had. And I think that a 15-year-old could do that, and it would not... that they would not hate themselves after that? Yeah, sure.
I think that young people will just not have the patience to sit through, because other games provide the endgame content literally instantly.
I think also, like, a good argument against this is Dwarf Fortress. So I didn't even know this, but Dwarf Fortress is massively popular. There are a lot of people that play Dwarf Fortress. You don't hear about any of them because you're not at a retirement home. The youngest Dwarf Fortress player is 39 years old. But if you go and you look at again, you look at Steam charts, this game is infinitely more complex. It is growing every single day. How many games ever come out and grow past the first day? Look at this. This is insane. Last all-time peak was 3 minutes ago. This shit is, it's going big right now. Valheim? Good point. Valheim is another example of it. And I think Valheim is very long form as well, though. The point that I'm making in general is that Valheim and all of these other games, whether it's something like Dwarf Fortress or Valheim, these are complex games. And just because kids don't play the games doesn't mean that they're not relevant.
Obviously, the point of an MMO is the world and the exploration, but this element shouldn't take multiple weeks if you want to draw a younger audience. At the end of the day, this younger audience hold the lifeline of MMOs in their hands. And MMO developers need to understand this. It's basic common sense a creator needs to understand. Whether you're a YouTuber, author, director, or game dev, you need to understand the audience and how to keep them happy, because your success is entirely within their hands.